Is this thing on? Are we live? Is this thing on? Hey, what's going on, everybody? How are we doing? As you can see, all my real friends are here. Nobody. But I did love the fact that everybody I messaged was like, "Yeah, I'd love to come, but I'm busy doing hanging out." So what a bunch of douches, right? Happy New Year, everybody. Here's a goblin saying ding dong. What's going on, goblin? Also, if anybody wants to jump on here with me as well, you are more than welcome to. All you have to do is email me. In fact, I'll put that in the comments here. I think I already have, but email me at Pulp Mortem at gmail.com to jump on here live, and we can all see your beautiful, absolutely beautiful faces. How's your guys' Christmas? Everybody have a good Christmas? Oh, Secret Fire books will be here in a minute. Nice. I did get some confirmation from Richard from Vintage SF, and so when Richard shows up, everybody we gotta act our age. And I love Richard. He's such a nice guy, but he has teacher energy, right? At least that's what I think. I don't know if that's true or not, but Jacob Bernowski says, "Hey everybody, Duncan, what's going on, my man? Happy New Year." Ajax, I love my use of emojis. We got some cake. Oh, science fiction reads. I may pop by. He's still on the treadmill, getting awesome. You don't need to look any better, okay? You're fine. You've made it. All right, Matt? Jeez. Yeah. Everybody listen to Tim. Don't you dare embarrass me in front of Richard, okay? Let's all act our age. Oh, what's going on, Mark? Mark, you better get on one of these times. Oh, he's in the chat trolling us. What do you guys how are you guys celebrating? And don't say just hanging out with me, because that's I got some grape juice. Popped in. Hey, what's going on in the book thing? I think I sent you a link, Mark. If you want to jump on here and say hi to everybody for real, you're more than welcome to. Mark from the book thing. He's got a fun channel. I actually, if I ever had a had one of my books turned into an audiobook, Mark from the book thing, I'm definitely giving you a call. I want to hear him talking to soothe me to sleep at night and tell me I'm okay. Anyway, Mark's a cool guy. We're getting him on Ebs here pretty soon. Yeah, grape juice and quotes. You're wrong. We 100% want to see that. I don't know what it is. I messaged 2 or 3 guys from you over there across the pond, and every single one of them said, "I'd love to, but I'm not going to be able to stand." But it is late. Oh, speak of the devil. News from the Gilding. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Jim. Yeah. We're getting him on the Elusive Exclusive Book Society here shortly. And we're reading The Atlantic Abomination, which is just the coolest cover of focus here. And apparently it's a sci-fi horror. Could be cool. Also, if you guys want, I'm just plugging you right now, Jim, if that's all right. I also read this Dark Matter from very own Jim. Oh, is it Jim or is it John Chapman? I don't know. You be the judge. It's a short story collection of a bunch of horror novels, and it's actually really good. I'm not just saying that because I want you on my show. It's legitimately really good. Well, that's okay, Griffin. We like you. That's good. Actually, my wife bought me for Christmas and you're gonna see how many people want to stick around after this. She bought me a bottle of wine for Christmas because I actually like wine. I don't know if you guys know that. I'm not drinking it now. I'm just drinking some $14 bottle, nothing. But it's a Rocco. Oh shoot, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called now. Something called Rocco something. Anyway, they're from grapes that are grown on the side of an active volcano. And I can't wait to actually drink it. It sounds rad, but I kind of don't want to drink it here by myself. Like literally, my wife and kids, they were just going to stay home and hang out. So I was like, I'll pop over here for an hour. But it worked out because they got invited to a party from their neighbors across the street. So they're gone. I'm in the house by myself, and me and my dog are here sad, and he's probably just as drunk as I am. But I'm just kidding. I'm not drunk. I can't get drunk. Ajax Plunkett says, shoot, I have to go to work. You got to work this late? Oh my gosh. On New Year's Eve? I think you've earned a sick day, Ajax. Or are you saving that for tomorrow? Don't forget to keep Ace Double Books alive at BookTube. Yeah. Bookworm keeps having wine, adult grape juice. Hello, watching this since I couldn't find a movie or anything else on YouTube. There's literally billions of videos on big head man, too big to get drunk, unga bunga. Yeah. For my bachelor party, I pounded 2 growlers. I don't know, in the Northwest, you can go to a brewery and get like it's a gallon of beer. I drank 2 of them for my bachelor party and I was fine. I was okay. Yeah, alcohol doesn't do anything for me, but I enjoy the taste of wine. Yeah, again, some of you who are just showing up, if anybody wants to pop on here live, you are more than welcome to. Email me at pulpmortem@gmail.com. I'll send you a link and you can jump right on and say hi in real life. In the meantime, I'll keep popping chats up here as well as we're going. I was filling stockings and my son was like, I needed to get him an action figure or something else to put in his stockings. And so I went to the bookstore because the bookstore also has a lot of like old vintage action figures and toys and things like that. And so I got another miniature book haul. It's fine. There's nothing in my bloody stocking, so I had to put something in there for myself. So I'll kind of show that off here while people are still rolling in. And then I'm just probably going to be bagging as we hang out and chat. And I might, we got someone here. Oh my gosh. What's going on, Tim?
What's up, man?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. You and your non-alcoholic beverage.
Are you old enough to drink alcohol?
I am. I'm not cool enough to drink alcohol.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Griffin, I can't show my face. Not as pretty as you. Well, that is what I hear, especially about me and Tim when we get up here together. Oh man. Eye candy. That's why you're all really here. Yeah, I got the world of Frank Herbert. Pretty cool book. Nice. How was your Christmas, Tim?
It was pretty low key. We never do anything for Christmas. It's just me and the parents and the sisters and the grandkids just sitting around the tree opening stuff, and then we all gradually go off to other rooms and crash.
Really? I still have young kids, and so Christmas is still the big production. It's still
right.
It's wild. It's yeah. Oh, book thing is saying good night, gents. I need to sleep off my body weight in Guinness and whiskey.
Oh my gosh.
Good night, Mark. Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams, little fella. Yeah, he's a cool guy. Oh, if you're still awake, he's probably logged off already, but if you're still here, please, for the love of all, stop reading those romantasy books. They're not. He's reading because they're banned, and they're like banned in school. So a lot of booktubers are like reading those style books to like kind of protest, which fine, great. I'm all for it. Yeah. But they're banned from elementary schools because they're trash.
They're literally softcore erotica.
They're literally softcore erotica. Oh. Oh, Digital Enforcer, which is my friend Dave, who actually he composed the opening theme to Pulp Mortem. I asked him if he could use it, and he said yes. And now that I've blown up, it's too late. He's never getting royalties. Sorry, Dave. He's a cool guy. I'm being bullied into. You're not being bullied into it. Stop reading it. There is a finite number of books we're able to read in our lifetime. Please,
dude, it's
stop.
not too late. It's not too late. You can stop. Go read some sword and sorcery.
Oh, read something. Dave, did I email you the link? You can jump on here if you want. If you miss my face, I've known Digital Enforcer Dave from, I think, since I was like 17. I got a job at McDonald's and he was my shift manager.
Nice.
It's too late. Well, we'll see you on the other side. Yes, yes, please, Matt, jump in here. If you need another link, email me again. I think I sent you a link. But what did I say something up? Yeah, I'm not telling them about the gym. Dave, anyway, he's seen me naked there. Big deal. Who hasn't?
Anyone who watched your Winds of Time video saw you naked, technically.
dig around the internet long enough, you'll find it.
Yeah.
I got The Devil's Game by Paul Anderson. This actually looks pretty cool. Have you seen this, Tim?
No, I need to read more Paul Anderson. He's an awesome writer.
This seems pretty cool. It's essentially on an isolated island, 7 people with a desperate need for money play a game conceived by an intelligence of perfect evil. Squid Game. The rules are simple. Each player will perform an act. Each others must duplicate it or be eliminated. Blah 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 blah. Basically, they're wondering if this is an actual person or if it's the devil. It looks pretty cool. Bookworm. I have 584 vintage sci-fi books. Hope to release 110 and 2. Whoa, that's a lot. Jeez. I reviewed 42 books on my channel, but I read a lot more than that, but I don't. Yeah, that's a lot of books.
Do you know how many you read this year?
I don't know, because I read all sorts of genre. You know what I mean? I don't just read science fiction. If I guess, maybe 80, probably 80 or so. I'd guess, but yeah, not 100. 110's a lot.
Yeah, I'm a slow reader, so I barely managed to clock over 50 this year.
Joseph from Joseph Read Books. I ran into him again.
Oh my God.
I ran into him again. Well, the reason why he reads so much is because he says he has a job where he's just he can just hold on, let me email Dave real quick. He has a job where he can just kind of turn his brain off. He has like a mindless he said it's like a mindless, like a warehouse job. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, he just listens to audiobooks all day. So, that would be nice. All right. Yeah, look at this. 5 Galaxy. Can you see it here? Do I need to go big screen?
I kind of see it.
Yeah, whatever. 5 Galaxy short novels. Pretty cool. For him, I told there would be an intelligent conversation about great science fiction literary works. You're not going to get that from on the best of times from this channel.
Someone lied to you.
Somebody lied. Wait till Richard gets it. When Richard gets here,
yeah, exactly.
Everything, the IQ temperature of the room will go up exponentially. I'm going to review this one here. It's called The Cruciacon and the Killane. It's a novel by. Let me go full screen here real quick.
Yeah, let's see that cover.
Wow. It's by someone named Christine, but this is a doll. It looks like a person from far away. And it, if you zoom in, it's an actual like a Ken doll that somebody built a little suit around.
Nice.
Oh, I love it. I read 72. That's for wow. Yeah. The thing is, you want to crank that number up? Little books.
Little padded books.
Little padded books. Goblin says, I've been doing a lot of audiobooks at work most of the way through. Whoa, 149 list of Pulp short stories, some assembled. Yeah. The thing is, like, back when I used to, for years, I drove a forklift in a freezer for Costco wholesale. And I wish at the time I would, at the time, I wish I was into audiobooks. I wish I'd gotten into it because I just listen to music and I get bored of music. You get to some point where you just get bored of it. But now I'm like, why wasn't I listening to audiobooks this whole time? Gojira. I bought that in a small shop off of Pike Street in Seattle, some teeny little shop on the side of the road. It's old. It's an old poster. Yeah, seen better days. El Sprague de Camp, the glory that was.
Oh no.
You not an El Sprague de Camp fan?
He's fine when he writes his own stuff. It just anytime he touches anyone else's work, it's like he can't help himself. He has to edit the story into something that he wants.
Yeah. Oh, we got some new members here coming. Well, let me get back to. We've got Brett here.
Bam.
The Beast reads.
Yes, I do. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear. Oh, and Dave, Jake's friend. See, I have a friend. I have one friend. Everybody shut up. Oh, Dave, are you there? Are you frozen?
Be frozen.
Oh, he's probably like, what have I gotten myself into?
Is it working?
Yeah, I got you now.
There you go.
Like
Oh,
super
no.
glitchy.
Look at everybody arriving fashionably late.
What do we miss?
Nothing. I'm making a fool of myself, as usual.
Yeah.
Good.
Same old, same old.
What are you doing, Dave? You going to a party tonight?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I had to get my book collection in my back too, so I could match the rest of you guys.
Look at that.
Got like 6 books back there I haven't read yet. So
Nice. Oh, you're jumping.
can you hear me?
Kind of. You're jumping over a bit, but we can hear you. Tim, read the dedication in Bane of the Black Sword, says Goblins of.
Ooh.
You don't have to. It's not on your channel, so he's not the boss of you right now.
You're right. I don't.
It's
But
just me.
So
Yeah,
Brett,
all frozen.
Oh, no. So Brett, I looked for your. Do you have a channel?
No, I haven't started yet. See,
Ah.
the problem is, see the glare on my glasses?
Mm-hmm.
I can't figure out the lights to keep that from happening. And I have to wear my glasses or I can't see anything.
I have a big light, and it's above me, and it's pointed at the wall, so my whole wall is backlit. Because if not, yeah, this is all you're gonna see.
Yeah. So just point the light that way?
No, if there's a wall there,
Yeah, well, yeah. There is in fact a wall there, yeah.
but
Another bookcase, but yeah, more wall.
yeah, I don't know. It's difficult for us with glasses. I've known some people will put them off to the side, and that kind of helps. Like we'll have two
Yeah.
lights on either side. But honestly, just start making content. Like it doesn't matter. Like
That's what I figure.
I
I look
always
at it,
believe-
says other people got their glasses with the glare and they just keep
Mhm.
talking, and I notice it because I'm concerned about mine.
yeah,
I always keep the glare on mine, and it hides your eyes so you can read the notes without people noticing.
nice.
That's right.
Mhm.
So now all I need is a teleprompter.
Well, I have a piece of paper, but
Wait, you print out paper every time?
yeah.
Why not just use you're using off your phone. You're
Yeah.
filming off your phone. Ah, that's why. Yeah, I always have mine on my script on my monitor here, and I try not to look at it, but I do all the time. I got 3 Andre Norton because that's what you get at thrift stores and antique shops. I can't find the other one, but anyway, Shadowhawk, Time Search. You've seen one Andre Norton. You've seen them all. Is anybody actually an Andre Norton fan?
Yes, I am.
Okay, what do I need to read then? Because I read Starborn, and I'm not a fan.
Well, I started reading them when I was like 12, so that probably skews my opinion of it. But I love the space opera stuff. Anything with the spaceships and Zero Stone is a good one I like. And
Zero Stone.
Zero Star and Uncharted Stars is the sequel. The Solar Queen stuff, that's the stuff I love, is the space traders flying between planets and trading stuff and having adventures.
Okay, right on. Have you guys read The Tartarus Incident by William Greenleaf? I have not. Anybody? No?
No.
Is it good, Bookworm? My Norton books are all boxed away. Yeah, mine might be too. I think I have almost 30 Andre Norton books. Poor gal.
The Andre Norton books are always the cheapest.
Yep.
And when you get to the store and you don't really find anything, that's when you grab those Andre Nortons. Like, well, I gotta leave with something.
Yep.
Look who's here, all sweaty and sexy, off the treadmill.
I'm just here to talk about my favorite author, Andre Norton.
Oh my god!
Those are just some thrift store finds.
Right? At every thrift store. It doesn't matter. You can throw a rock at a thrift store and you're going to find, oh, yeah, I got that one.
Now, see, I had to buy all mine full price when they came out. So.
Well, full price is still cheaper than we're getting them at the thrift store. That's what they came out. Sorry to hear that, Levi. Are you sure you just didn't want to hide? You just want to hide the comments and troll it up?
He was just going to tell a bunch of bum cider jokes anyway.
What's going on, Matt? How was your Christmas?
Not too bad. I just finished my last read of the year, and I was hoping I could make it here for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to finally meet in person. We've emailed and always chat at each other, but meet in person, I say, but not really.
I've been outside your house, yeah.
Oh wow! You're the one who keeps throwing rocks at my window.
Yeah.
95 cents I had to pay for this one.
Oh my gosh! I think that's probably what I paid for that one.
And I agree with Jake. Just start making content.
Yeah.
I've got notes for what I want to write, and I got 3 e-arcs from NetGalley and read them and liked them, and to hold up my end of the deal, I got to do the review of them.
Yeah, well, I remember talking to you a while back, and I was like, "Yes, get on there, make some content. Let's see what you got to recommend."
Yeah, I figure I'd fit right into the science fiction side anyway.
Yeah,
because I've read a few books, and the last 50-something years.
You've already got your backdrop. It's all set. Look at that.
Well, I know. As soon as I started watching BookTube, I had, well, if I was going to do it, it'd be right here.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Although, Jake, I do like it. Well, I like all of them. But with the covers out, yours is awesome.
Yeah. It's a lot more work because I have to keep swapping it out. But, yeah. Eventually, we're renting right now. Eventually, when we go to buy a place, I want to get a much bigger wall with a more dedicated section because the covers are the best part. Like the covers are freaking awesome. But plus, it gives everybody something to look at other than myself. Has anybody read Inherit the Stars by James P. Hogan? I have it, but I haven't read it yet.
No, but I want to. That's part of a series, or no?
Yeah.
Is that part of the Gentle Giants of Ganymede series?
That's the start of the ones with these. They find the spaceship on the moon.
Yeah.
I read it ages ago.
Is the one Jake? Is that in the same series or no?
I don't know. I don't recall.
It's an author I want to check out. I've read a short story or two that were pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, Tim, if
Yes.
you need a new copy of Bum Cider, Mark would be happy to part with his.
Of course he would. I thought you loved bum cider, Mark.
Oh,
I still have the stupid book. Okay, it's just I gotta be careful with it because the cover is falling off. Okay,
have you tried to fix it?
No, I'm not gonna try to fix. That is a waste of glue and/or tape. As long as I can just have it rest within the cover, I can just lean it up against my bookshelf.
You got to put it in a bag.
Put them in a bag.
I need to get some bags for my books. That's it. Every time I have a chance to get something at the store, it's I never think to do that.
Stacks of bags here. I was gonna start bagging, but I might not do it tonight because people are actually here hanging out. Yeah. That's right, Tim. It's from or Tim White, The Gentle Giants of Ganmead. Yep, I have that one as well. That's familiar. Good luck for him. I think we bought them all out. There's no more left in the wild.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, how messy. Oh, let me show you guys something. What my kids got me for Christmas. This is a good enough reason to get kids because I mean there are a few other good reasons, but this is a good enough reason here. My top 3 books of the year. I haven't bought well, this is funny. You say you're a cheap date, Jake. Just wait to see this. I haven't bought the top 3 books of the year. I always will go back if I really like the book that I review. I'll try and get the hardcover or the first edition, whatever it is. And some of them are bloody expensive, right? So I got Dinosaur Beach here.
Nice.
In perfect, absolutely perfect condition. Not a crease on it. It's the ugliest bloody cover. Here, let me put myself.
It really is.
Oh, it is the ugliest cover, but I love it. I love it because it literally looks like my son drew it.
I love the little cardboard cutout T-Rex in the background. It's awesome.
Seahorse in the Sky, first edition.
Nice.
This one again is in really, really good shape. Sorry, it's got the Brodar on here. So this is the Putnams. And just yesterday, this one's not in good condition. It's beat up, but The Furies by Keith Roberts.
Sweet.
And it's loose. It's beat to a pulp, but it's the first edition. And even this edition here is it's over $100 in this condition. I've seen good condition for upwards of $500 and $600, which is just preposterous. So my wife was able to find that, which was awesome.
That is awesome.
I have all 3, and I haven't read any of them.
Really?
This coming year.
Do it. This coming year, do it. That'd be awesome. What are you reading right now, Matt? Anything interesting?
I just finished an A.E. Van Vogt. I don't have it close to hand, but it wasn't so great. Before that, I finished this Sword and Sorcery I never heard anybody talk about. We Are All Legends by Daryl Schweitzer. Tim, have you heard of this?
No, but hold on. Say the name again. I'm going to write this down.
Daryl
We Are All
Schweitzer,
Legends?
maybe?
Okay.
So it's like Jarell of Jory, but a guy.
Nice. Okay.
Who's less confident and less capable.
Okay. Opens the hell portal, immediately dies.
Yeah, it was so good. I bought some other stuff by him. I think The Shattered Goddess is a novel.
Ooh.
And then this is a short story collection. Takes place in the same world as The Shattered Goddess, which is the end of time, dying Earth type stuff.
Are those new releases?
No, they're print on demand. I think they're all from the 80s.
Interesting. Well, I'm gonna have to look that up now. Good grief.
Top notch S&S. What are you reading right now, Brett?
Well, I just finished those e-arcs that I got, and the one I got was Alliance Unbound by C.J. Cherry. And so there was the uncorrected proof, or whatever they call them, with the e-arc. So I checked out from the library the ebook of the finished thing. So I'm into that now. And the other two I'll tell you the other 2 e-arcs was the latest by KB Wagers. Had some weird thing. It's the Neo G, the Coast Guard in space. Pretty awesome stuff, I think. And Michael Bame's Dark Side, part of his Planet Side. I highly recommend all 3 authors.
Okay.
I need to read CJ Cherry.
I know. I have quite a bit of her, and I haven't read anything yet.
I have all of hers.
I've read the Morgaine stuff and a couple others.
I want to get around the Morgaine stuff, but I can't find a copy of the first book.
I might have one. I can send you. I'll have to look.
Oh gosh, don't do that.
And that Brett is why you start a YouTube channel. Because Matt has sent me books.
I see
Actually,
it
all you all have
before.
sent me books.
That's true.
That's awesome. How about you, Nick? What are you reading right now?
Hold on. I'll show you. I'll be right back.
I know you dropped a video like a minute ago, and before I started the
did.
stream, so I haven't watched it yet.
I did. I just finished the Cold Front, the book that the Fathom Press sent me. They were reissuing it, so I wanted to put that one to the front. I mean, people were sending me free books. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
So yeah, it was really amazing. But hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Liminal Spaces. What's up, everyone? What's going on?
Nice.
Liminal, if you want to jump on, man, email me, pulpmortem@gmail.com. I'll send you a link and you can jump on. You don't even have to comb your hair. You don't even have to comb your beard. You can just jump on.
Comb your beard.
Dude, he's got the most incredible beard. Does anyone have Piers Anthony the magic fart? What?
Wait, what?
The magic, is that a thing? It's at the top of my.
I knew he has a book called The Color of Her Panties. I didn't know he had the magic fart. Oh my gosh, Piers Anthony. That name.
So here, right here.
Oh, let me make you full screen here.
Ah, sweet, finally. Oh, thanks, Nick. That made my night, dude.
Yeah, I'm on the third story. It's
Nice.
Dude, it's awesome. It is awesome. Now, I'm not just saying that because I know you.
I appreciate that, dude.
I'm really enjoying it.
Awesome.
That's Tim's book, everyone, by the way.
Is that the one with the hand? You know what I'm talking about? The third one? Tim, you'd know. Is that the one with the hand?
The hand?
I'm
You know what
not
I'm
there
talking
yet.
about? Okay. I'm not gonna.
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Is that the third one?
Yes, it is.
Tim.
Oh,
Andrew B. You do not need an advanced StreamYards account. I have an advanced StreamYards account, but if you just click on that link, you should be able to join in. Let me know. You can email me again, and I can resend it if I need to. Are there any other women in the room? No beard required? I don't know. Good luck with that.
Why am I still the big one?
Because now that Matt's not here, you're the best looking. So fix it. Because I'm checking emails at the same time. Andrew B. All right. So what do you guys do? Anybody do anything after this? Are you going to any parties? Or although you guys are in the future, right?
yeah. We're in the future.
Yeah.
An hour.
It's not 7:30 there.
It's 8:30.
Oh my gosh.
We're about to eat, so.
What I used to do, chatting online, back when you had to type everything. People
Yeah.
say, I'm going to bed. And they'd say, well, it's 12:30 here. Well, it's 11:30 here. And I'd chime in and I'd say, well, it's 8:15 here.
All right. Take care, Liminal Spaces. We got to get you on one of these times.
Oh, yeah.
We
Dude,
all
I'd
wanna-
love to have Chris on. He's awesome.
He's awesome, and I'd feel even more stupid than normal. That guy's got a wall of daw, which I'd love.
Oh my gosh, isn't it awesome?
It's freaking awesome.
So jealous.
I used to go to the bookstores, and the first thing I'd go to is the Yellow Spines.
They got the best covers. They're awesome.
They're always awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, my white whale that I'll probably be chasing till my dying day is the original 6 Daw prints of the Elric saga.
Yeah.
They're so awesome.
Oh, hold on a second.
They're in
There's
here
a whole
somewhere.
other. There you are, Dave. Sorry,
hey.
I didn't ban you. I didn't realize I had to scroll down. Sorry about
My
that.
phone was like messing up. That it didn't work.
Andrew, nice to meet you, man.
I had to scroll down. Sorry about that.
Oh, somebody's got YouTube in the background.
Yeah, I thought I'd take a sci-fi background here.
Nice. Who's got a somebody close out YouTube? We're getting YouTube feedback.
It's not me. I got the stream muted.
What's coming? Oh, Pyramid Stripe, Pyramid Books. The thing is, Pyramid Books is usually fine, but it was just from 62 and 63. They put that garish, hideous stripe.
I've actually read The Infinitive of Go, the one that inspired you to start collecting sci-fi books.
Oh, right on. Nice. I've heard that one's actually good. That's John Brunner, right?
Yeah. It's about sort of teleportation technology that gets developed, and there are parallel worlds in the story, and I thought it was an interesting short story. It ends a bit abruptly, but yeah.
Nice. I've yet to read a John Brunner. Well, we're reading one, the Atlantic Abomination is what we're reading here shortly, but that would be the first Brunner I've read.
Okay.
I've only read that spy one that he wrote. The Black is the Color.
That's right. That's right. Nice. Well, we got 7 people here in an awkward silence. I love that.
So I got those new Brandon Sanderson books, the ones from his Kickstarter. Have you guys read any of those yet, or?
No, we just read old stuff. I have Mistborn because I bought that when I first started this channel because I was like, oh, everybody's talking about this trilogy. And then I was like, or it's however many are in there, but I just never got around to it. I bought too much stuff at the time.
Yeah.
I think Skyward would be the one I want to read because it has some space opera elements in it, from what I've heard.
Hot take. I've read a few of his books. Mistborn is the only one I like so far.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm a stickler when it comes to epic fantasy. So
I liked his. I first discovered him before I even knew he read anything. Well, I knew he took over the Wheel of Time for Robert Jordan and finished that series out, so I knew him from that. But his writing courses on YouTube, I watched those. Excuse me, multiple times. They're actually incredible. Like, they're mainly for fantasy as opposed to science fiction, but like just a lot of his, tips and techniques and stuff. They're like, his writing techniques are phenomenal. That man can write like a demon, like 10,000 words a day, which is just absolutely preposterous.
I think he just used a AI chat agent, so popping those things out like crazy.
I gotta head out, but thanks for having me.
Hey, nice,
And,
lovely
hopefully we
to
can make
have
something
you.
work in the future.
Let's do it.
we need to get you on Eve, Matt.
Yes, for sure.
All right, I'll see you later.
All right. Happy New Year, Matt.
Happy New Year.
Matt's cool. He's the man. Let's see here. Oh, Bookworms says they're shy. Yeah, well, that's good because we are extremely judgmental, and so if you jump on here, believe you me,
We're all gonna judge you. So.
We're all gonna judge you. Daw is the best. Yep.
The yellow spine ones.
Yeah.
It's starting, Tim. Watch out.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Okay.
There's a lot that we do in the background. Yeah, lots that said in the background. Listen, I'm sure he's a great guy, but he's at some Eyes Wide Shut party right now. He's busy. He can't make it.
Oh no.
I don't care.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure he's a great guy. I was in Reno for 6 weeks. What I miss. Goblin watches some Matt. Yeah, Matt's great. Yeah, he's deceptively funny too, because I think it's his delivery is not dry, but he's just kind of very even toned. But dude, he sent me a copy of the first edition of the what's it called, the High Crusade, which I loved. It was a great book, but like the spine was loose in one part, so it needed to be repaired. So he sent me an email saying, "Hey, I have a copy of the low quality Crusade if you want."
Low quality.
Cracked me up.
That's awesome.
And that's an Anderson I still have to read.
Oh, that's a great one.
It's fantastic. I love that book.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will
it's
bump that
satire
up my
done right.
TBR list.
Yeah, it's worth bumping up on the TBR.
Yeah.
I've been reading The Star Fox this year by Anderson. I thought that was a fun one too.
Was it? I was literally this close to reading that one only because I have the paperback, which the paperback's fine, but I have the first edition, and the cover is the ugliest cover I've like. I'm gonna find it. Hold on a second.
Is it ugly or is it just too abstract for you? Jake doesn't appreciate abstract art.
He's not an artist.
Can't hear you.
Thank God I was wearing pants, right? Look at
This
this
time.
cover.
Oh, right, yeah.
Let me get
High
some full
quality.
screen.
It's the paperback that I've got in my collection.
I don't think it looks that bad.
What?
But then again, I'm the one who liked the pyramid stripe, so who am I to judge?
Oh, bad taste. But yeah, I've almost read that so many times.
Yeah.
The one stream I had pants on. Dude, you better believe I got legs. That's my best feature is my sexy legs. At least so I hear from
I vouch for that one.
myself. Shut up.
Oh,
I was looking for my Moorcocks. I didn't see them. Nothing is alphabetized in my house. But I had High Crusade.
High Crusade.
there we go.
Had that. And I talking about Bruner. I didn't think I'd read any Bruner, but this was right next to High Crusade.
Let me get you full screen there.
All the dog covers are just awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's probably why I bought it. Because as a kid going to the library, they had a stand on Zanzibar by Bruner, and a big thick book, and it was in the small section, and I never read it. I must have read the back cover 100 times, but it never grabbed me, so I just never picked it up to read it. And I didn't think I'd read any Bruner. I must have read this one because Interstellar Empire is right up my alley.
See, Brett, start your YouTube channel. Let's go. This is what we just want you talking about these books.
Well, what kills me is you guys will, the book hauls, you get out these old books that are all, like you said, falling apart. And I go, oh, I got that one right over there. And oh, that one's in here. And, I've got these books. I've read most of them. And I like to talk.
There you go.
Do it.
I'm going to have, that's my New Year's resolution. And I never make New Year's resolutions, but I'm going to.
All right. Shh, everybody. Act,
Teacher's here. Act normal.
teacher. Shh. Richard, what's going on, my man?
Oh, this is great. I got to up the class of what's going on here, I think.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yes.
Everybody behave.
I do love how we're all here. We're talking about Brett here's thinking about starting a YouTube channel,
Nice.
or a booktube channel. We're like, let's do it, go for it. And then here comes Richard, who's like, I think I need a thumbnail of Contact, so I'm gonna drive to wherever the heck you drove to get that picture.
New Mexico.
New Mexico. I think I'm gonna travel the world and.
Well, I've been through Denton, Texas, too, a few years ago. Isn't that where you're from?
That's where I'm from. Well, that's where I am now. I'm only here a year and a half. But
Okay. But I'm jealous about those bookstores because I never looked for bookstores when I was going through.
yeah. Oh, and we got the outlaw Levi Wallace here. What's going on, my man?
Oh, dang.
Oh man, this trying to get on the stream was kicking my butt, man. Those
I know.
permissions were killing me.
I kept kicking you off. I was hoping you'd take the hint, but no, here he is.
That's what I get for talking about bum cider all the time.
Oh my gosh.
I was. It's crazy. That stream was only like 2.5 months ago.
Oh my
It
gosh.
feels like it was like 10 or 8 months ago. You know what I mean?
It feels like it was an eternity ago.
It feels like it was an eternity reading that book.
How many pages was it?
It wasn't that long. How many? Let's see. Hold on.
I don't know.
It's only like 200 something pages.
It just
Okay,
was so boring that it felt like it was just a slog. Yeah.
It was just boring.
Yeah,
Yeah, 223.
yeah. That's a pretty slim book. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it's just
cover.
so boring.
The way people talk about it.
Right? And it was
Who's been a
just-
copy of bum cider
the
in
thing
my
is,
eBay shopping cart for like
No,
2 months.
No, see, here's the thing. Tau Zero. Bumcider wasn't our name. Death World 2 was our name. Okay? Bumcider was just like, I don't know, some long, boring lecture that we all had to sit through. And it never ended.
So do you think Bump Cider was a great name when they actually came out? Like, we can sell a ton of these books if we name it Bump Cider.
Well, it came out posthumously. It was
Bookworms,
released,
you're
like,
on.
there we go. It was released right after CC McCapp passed away, correct?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm guessing that the publisher just had no idea what to do with it. And, like, Bum Cider? Question mark, question mark?
The editor went with it, so somebody must have thought it was a good idea.
That's what I'm thinking.
Tau Zero, you own the book or you own a bum cider tattoo? Because if we're placing bets,
Oh, my God.
Now you can say.
What?
Now you can say hi to Jake.
Oh, hi.
hello, Alex.
Hi.
How's it going? Say hello to a bunch of strange people who read books.
He's reading a good one right now. It's not Pulp Fiction, but it's the Warrior Cat book.
Oh, the kitty
I don't
lovers.
know how it is. So
Oh, it's very
is that the brutal one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, super brutal.
Apple.
My
Nice.
niece
Ripping off limbs and everything.
No. What?
Oh,
How's everyone doing?
Good, good. We're just hanging out. Nice to see you.
I'm kind of new to all this kind of stuff. I'm hoping to start up a channel next year, middle of next year.
Nice. Yeah, go for it. What are you waiting for? You got a camera right there.
Shyness.
You're already on camera. This is the hardest part. You're already doing it.
This is and
Comfort zone a little.
well, typically it's a lot easier too, because typically it's just you and the camera. So then you can just edit. I don't like that edit. I mean, I edit how many hours of footage of myself. Liminal spaces gotta get to his eyes wide shut party.
Say hi to Book Pilled for us.
Hey, you said it. I haven't said anything bad. I'm sure he's a nice fellow. I'm just a judgmental D-bag.
I follow.
What are you reading now, Richard?
Let me just grab it. Just finishing some Philip K. Dick off.
Mm.
Ah.
We're going to be talking, Ira and Matt and I are going to be talking about it. And actually, we're going to have a guest, the other outlaw, Stephen E. Andrews, will be with us.
Ah. Nice.
His books are so hard to come by nowadays, Phil K. Dick.
They are.
It's ridiculous.
It's a good thing he's still in
Like
print,
two
so you
in
can
the
get
wild.
even just new editions of it.
Mm.
But yeah, if you want some of that good old vintage covered stuff, yeah, it's hard to come by.
Hmm. I have a Robert Heinlein up on my shelf that split right down the middle, and I can't find the exact cover for it anymore.
Mhm.
Which title is that?
No, that's Gordon R. Dixon. Oh no, where is it? Where's it down on this shelf? Oh no, I have too many.
It's there somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere. I put them in order, but yet it takes me 3 tries to find any of the authors I'm after.
In what order are they in?
Up top it's short story collections, and then farther down it's Bimbova, and then some Bernardini, and then Isaac Asimov, A. Van Vogt, and Arthur C. Clarke, and Gordon R. Dixon.
Is anybody here organized alphabetically?
Yeah.
Never.
Some of my shelf.
I
I'm
can't
probably looking at it.
because
My
I'll get.
hardbacks are.
I've done it twice. I've organized my books twice, but then I'll go buy books, go buy a stupid ridiculous book haul, and I'm like, well, this is all out the window now because I got to literally move everything.
You got to move everything.
Yeah, they call
I
that
do it
shunting
by-
on your shelf.
Oh,
Obscure
there you go.
genre, and then
This is the cover.
Ah,
Ah,
yeah, I've seen that one. I have that one.
And
Not that edition, but
it's literally split down the middle. That
you can glue that back together.
Yeah.
I want to glue it back together, but I don't know how to do it properly, and I don't want to damage it any further.
I think Jules Burt has videos on how he does it.
Yeah.
If it's bad enough, you just
I'll
scrape the old glue off and then you put new glue in.
Yeah, I did attempt on one, and I'm terrible at lining things up. So, I tried gluing this one back together, and I lined it. So it's a little off of the page.
It's all right. It's your book.
That's right.
has anybody
I
ever
just circumvent
tried-
the problem by getting the worst possible book right off the bat. Like the worst condition. I got a cover of Drawing of the Three that's literally falling apart. It's been taped over 1,000 times. Like, that's the one I want. Because that's the one I don't have to take care of.
I was going to ask if anybody has ever used markers to cover up defects on a book. Like a black marker, if there's like spine creases or something on a black spine.
I did. I had a copy of the Sliders novelization. And
You mean the TV show?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And I had like a
Awesome.
huge tape rip off of it, and I colored it in marker. And then the next week, I found a pristine version. But I did color it in the black.
Yeah.
Yeah, that TV show was quite good, Jake. It was what got me into science fiction, actually.
It's good. It's legitimately good, but it's one of those shows that I forget about until somebody mentions it. And I was like, I can't tell you how many times in my adult life I've gone Sliders because somebody mentioned something about it. I totally forgot about that.
I had never heard of it until like a couple of months ago when I was like looking through a bunch of comic books and there was an advertisement for it on the back. And I was like, what the? Wait a second. John Rice Davies was in this? What?
Yeah, as Professor Arturo. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. I need to check that out.
Yeah.
The novelization is a novelization of the pilot.
Yeah. And you said it wasn't that good, right? Or
No, it was good. I was just disappointed because I thought it was going to be a new story.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I plan on next year reading this beautiful cover.
No.
Yeah, I got
Don't-
a paperback and a hardcover of it.
You don't have to. Just because we made fun of it doesn't mean everybody has to read it.
Don't do it. Read the first one. You can read the first one. That's fine.
Yeah.
I've had this on my shelf
Stop
for
there.
2.5 years, and I've been distraught from it from like a lot of reasons. From
That's
what
the
I've
same thing I said to Jake, and then he made me read it.
But I picked this up at a random bookshop. I was like, well, I like the cover. So I was like very interested. It's usually the
cover's
covers
rad.
that draw me in. Vintage
Color
hardcovers,
scheme.
gorgeous hardcovers and paperbacks. And I've always loved them.
The
I mean, I've
color
been
scheme is
reading
quite similar
didn't get
to the
into-
Legion trilogy.
I think I didn't get into reading again until 2020. So I read for a lot of reasons.
Well, since we're talking about awesome books here,
Oh no,
Let me show you what I got at my
guys,
most
I'm
recent
scared.
book haul. Let me find where am I? Oh, that's not me. Oh, there I am. I got The Island Snatchers by George Henry Smith. He
Your
wrote The
favorite.
4-Day Weekend. He is a legitimate, certifiable idiot and a super pervert, but it's probably one of my favorite books I read this year because it was so inconceivably bad. If you ever stumble across The 4-Day Weekend by George H. or George Henry Smith, buy it because it is just, it's so ridiculously dumb, but this cover is freaking awesome.
It is cool.
So I bought that, and then I bought there's something wrong with me, you guys, because I bought Galaxy 666 by Peltoro, which is the Fanthorpes, which are scam artists. But I've heard I can't remember who told me that. Was it you, Andrew, that told me this is the worst book ever written? Or am I thinking somebody else? Maybe it's Ajax.
The worst book.
Yeah, somebody said it's the worst science fiction book ever written. So then when I see it for $1, I'm like, of course I'm going to buy it.
Comparable to Heinlein's The Number of the Beast, or?
All right, Jake, I gotta go. But
I think the craziest book I ever read was
Happy New Year, Dave.
The Plague. Oh wait, the Hamilton Plague. If I'm saying that correctly, I'm probably butchering it. But there was a part where this, if I remember correctly, he was talking about taking the best poop of his life. And I thought that was the funniest thing ever. I wanted to end it after that, but I was like, no, I'm way too into this, and I'm invested. I want to know.
Duncan, read it, do a review on it. I'll do a buddy read video with you, Duncan, because that would be I want somebody else to share in my pain.
That's the Hamlin Plague by Chandler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got it somewhere.
I got it also. I haven't read it yet, though.
I gave it like 4 stars. I mean, it was enjoyable enough to, keep it and not get rid of it.
Chandler's one of my favorite authors.
Yeah, I came across that one randomly out in the wild just once, and I haven't been able to find any more of his work. I know it's very hard also to find Clifford D. Simak, and I really love that guy's work. I can't find any where I live half the time. I only have a select few of his work.
Hey, Eric, I just sent you the link here. If you want to join, you don't have to, but Eric, if you want to join, you're more than welcome to. Just sent to the link. Eric Wags, we've had him on Eves. He's a cool dude, a real Viking.
That man is 90% beard.
90% scarred.
My gosh, dude, you need to read the second Scarlet book. It's fantastic.
That's what you said. The first one was enjoyable. I was like, the first one it's good. It's enjoyable. I had a good time.
I said in my review, like, this was a fun book, but it could be better. He brought it with book 2. Like, it blew me away how much I loved it.
I did also enjoy High Vacuum by Charles Eric Maine. That one was really good. I almost gave it 5 stars. And ever since reading him, I was like, I need more of his work, but no luck. Sadly. His writing is really good. Like, it's almost similar to one of my other favorite authors, but I think his writing's a little bit better. Not to judge on the other author, but
judge him. That's what we're doing here.
Well, that's the best way to get a recommendation.
Right?
Now, a lot of people hated this book. But
I hate that book. That book sucks.
I kind of enjoyed it. Like, I didn't like the writing style, but I just enjoyed it overall. I think it was just for the storyline. I enjoyed the storyline a lot, like where they were going with it. But it was how they were describing the characters was a little like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I think Jack Williamson's always been kind of hit and miss, and I think that was a miss
Yeah.
for sure. I like the concept. The concept could have been, because like if you don't know, Earth's been put on trial because they're putting in a super highway or something, kind of like a Hitchhiker's Guide or whatever, putting in
Yeah.
a signal. I think was what it was. But yeah, it was just. I think his attempts to fuse the fix-ups was.
Mm.
I legitimately thought the printer made a mistake that they
Yeah.
actually combined two books, because instantly it just changes like tone, perspective, characters like mid paragraph. I'm like, what is it was so clunky. Yeah,
I especially was kind of at times laughing at it, like how they would describe how a certain character looked.
Oh yeah, he was so mean.
Directly remember, if I'm correct, like one of them calling one character a retard or something.
I think you're right. And yeah,
If
he's
I'm
super ugly.
correctly.
So many characters were super ugly and just like, yeah.
I come across a lot that were like, did you really have to put that in there? Like, I know the character was bad, but you could have just skipped over it.
But Williamson, I do respect him because he was kind of like, who do you got there, Richard? What's that?
That's Williamson.
That's a young Williamson.
Yeah, this is an omnibus that has it's called Wonder's Child, My Life in Science Fiction. So it's actually a nonfiction book, an autobiography by Williamson that I'm interested in reading.
That was honestly, like, doing my research on Jack Williamson was my favorite part of doing the Trial of Terra, because I didn't care for the book at all, but like just him, how he was kind of a golden age pulp author. And then when the new wave came, everybody else kind of died off and he just kept at it.
There's him as an older guy with Connie Willis.
That's what I loved about him, how he continually like worked with other and collaborated with other authors all the time. And he won like a Nebula and a Hugo like right before his death. Like it really is a cool story.
Yeah.
I'm currently reading him. I've been reading this trilogy from the Legion.
Mm-hmm.
It's very pulpy.
Which one? Can you show us again? I didn't see it.
Three from the Legion.
Oh, okay.
It's a trilogy.
Nice.
I've seen that one. I've seen his hardcovers quite a bit in stores and stuff. I've never bought any of them just because Trial of Terror did put such a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I just finished the Legion of Space, so the Cometeers is next.
I have not, Book Pig, although I do have on my to review list. I do have The Secret People, which is John Benyon Harris, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's a pseudonym for John Wyndham.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. I thought so.
Yeah, that's him in the 30s. He's more pulpy in the 30s, but in the 50s, he really hit his stride with great novels.
Okay. Yeah, I got that Triffids cover. That one's awesome. Yeah.
I finished this not too long ago, and I immediately picked up book 2 afterwards. It's a phenomenal book. I love it. I didn't even know there was a book 2 until I started actually get into this stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty recently, Alistair Reynolds wrote one version, which is pretty pulpy as well and short, 300 pages.
Very short for him.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I think pulp readers would enjoy this one as well.
What are you reading right now, The Outlaw Levi Wallace?
This has been my end of the year catch up, so I just don't have any new books started for January. That's already not happened. I've already started something else. But I just finished this morning. I have the Del Rey edition of the Solomon Kane stories. So I finished that up this morning. I had volume 3 of Tangent Comics, which is this old failed DC experiment from the 90s, and I finished that. So just trying to get everything done before January 1st, and then I'll start all over again. I'm going to be reading Dracula either immediately next or pretty soon, in January at least.
Yeah. Yeah, Jacob, that's why I wanted to read that one, because that cover is freaking awesome. I'm in the middle right now of Bug Jack Barron I'm reading this with Richard. You know, I see your face. I'm reading this with I'm doing a buddy read with Ira from SF Words of Wonder, and this is what we're currently reading. And oh my gosh,
it's got a cool cover.
I'm not brave enough to read it.
Oh man, I don't know if I'm brave enough to finish it. I have to keep pausing to take showers because I feel so dirty.
That's the only Spinrad I ever read, and never wanted any more.
Oh, the thing is, I don't know. I knew exactly when I picked it up. I knew what Spinrad was going to look like when I was like halfway through this. I'm like, I'm going to look him up, and I knew exactly what kind of guy he was, and I was 100% right. By the way. So yeah, I won't talk about it. I won't spoil that. I will save that for Ira's stream. But yeah, that's
Just remember, Ira gave you an out. He listed that at the very bottom of the list. It was like maybe Bug Jack Bear.
And of course, that's what you picked.
That's because I can't help myself.
Glutton.
You're constantly
I
seeking
really
trash.
am. I just want to, but I'm like, yeah. If he challenged me, like, this is good. If you can handle this one, I don't know if you want to do this. Of course, I was like, before I even knew anything about it, I'm like, oh, that's what we're doing. And then when I got the book, and let me show you what it says here. On the flap here, it says, after the synopsis, warning: sexual content and language may be offensive to some readers. And this was in the 70s.
Wow.
They were right. Book Pig. I research after. I read the book, and then that's just me. You guys can answer as well. But for me, I try not to know anything about the author anymore. I just make sure that that's not a pseudonym for Robert and Patricia Fanthorpe. But after that, once I know that, I don't do any research until I read the book. But how about you guys who have a channel? Do you research your authors before you read?
After.
I just go with what's on the back cover for the synopsis rather than the author.
Sometimes I do it during the book when I'm sort of wondering where this guy is coming from. And then I find it very interesting to see perhaps where they're from. I'm also like to read nonfiction, so I read a lot about authors before I read too.
Yeah. Yeah, I got this based on your recommendation, Richard, based on your video on that, because I had a shorter one, and I have a bunch of other novels from a bunch of other like research materials. But once you did a kind of a video on this one, I was like, if you guys don't know, it's the Encyclopedia of Science Fiction by John Clute, and look at that.
And it's online now, and they're continuing to update it. But you know, we're all book lovers here. It's nothing like a physical copy of that thing.
Yeah, I wanted the hardcover edition, but I found that this was at a thrift store I walked by for like $2. So I'm like,
oh, beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Jake, I'm out of here. I gotta go.
What? But the party's just getting what? But you. Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year. My wife said that if you start watching Ghostbusters 2 at 10:25, that the New Year's will line up. Their New Year's and yours.
But I would rather watch Ghostbusters 1 and not have anything line up because it's about 1,000 times better than Ghostbusters 2.
Fine, ruin it. Ruin everything.
He was trying to share something with you, Jake.
Something special. And you crapped all over it.
Dang it.
Ghostbusters 2 is not that bad. I'm with you. I'm with you, Nick.
It's
It is
great.
a good
It's
movie.
great movie.
It's a fun movie.
It's not that bad.
What other movies do you try to line up with some event? That's a good one.
So to do what?
To line up a movie with an event. I mean, there's certain movies you always watch, like at Thanksgiving, you're going to watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles or something like that. But is there anything else that you would line up to try to make it coincide with something happening?
Oh,
not an event, but the album Dark Side of the Moon. People listen to that while they're watching Wizard of Oz. It's supposed to more or less line up.
Oh, that's interesting.
I tried the experiment for like 15 minutes, and I'm like, too many things were happening all at one time. I had to do something else. But
I've done that once, and I think it only works. Like there's some moments that's like, oh, that was kind of creepy or whatever. But no, I think it only works if you're stoned out of your brains.
Probably. Now, a bunch of times I'll have an album playing and then forget it's happening, and then try to watch something. I'm like, well, it's a soundtrack rocks, but then it doesn't line up. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I got to turn this off.
Ego's watching. All right, we'll let you get out of here, Nick. Thanks for stopping by,
later.
man. Good seeing you.
See you, Nick. Have a good one, man.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
You too.
Mark, you're sick. Ay, ay, ay.
Wow.
Look at what we're dealing with here.
Has anyone ever read this? I've had it on my shelf for 3 years. I haven't picked it up because I was kind of hesitant.
Here, keep it up there. I'll make you full screen real quick.
You know, you'd have to tell us some of the stories, I think, because. But those are older stories, and there's some good ones that are older stories, I'm sure.
Anthony Butcher, John Wyndham, Richard, Damien, Ray Bradbury, Highland, Philip K. Dick, Harry Cotner, Corn Bluth.
Lots of great authors there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had it on my shelf for 3 years, and I was like, I don't know if I want to read it because I don't know if it's good or not.
I don't know.
I have the second volume, oddly enough.
Yeah, they match very well, don't they?
Oh yeah, I mean mine's a little beat up, but
I always like the way books look on the shelf, and they match up really nice.
Especially like the cover. I have them where they like a little rocket. But I might get to them. I don't know. I have like a entire stack of books onto the left of me. Is it right? Left. I'm terrible at my around. But I have a whole stack over on that side. And I think there's at least 50 over there right now. And I just keep adding to them.
Nice.
I know I've added quite a few more. I have tried James Blish before. He's been a hit or miss for me. And I heard this series is pretty good. I don't have book 3 though, which is the sad thing.
Yeah.
I've only read his Star Trek stuff. It's pretty good.
The Blish I read, I didn't much care for, but I have heard that he's kind of one of those hit and miss authors that some stuff's really, really good. And
I can see that.
yeah, for him says it's a good question here. What's the most you've paid for a vintage sci-fi book? He's paid 16 for a Maltzberg. What's the most you guys have paid?
That's a good question.
I paid
$119
for this one.
How much?
119.
Hold on, we're gonna make you full screen for that.
Wow, that's about the same amount I paid for the original Putnam "Stranger in a Strange Land" by Robert Heinlein.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've heard of that one. I think my second one was the Event Horizon book. It's somewhere up there. I paid $200 for that one.
Sheesh.
And I mean, I love the film, so I had to have it.
The first edition Furies. This is about 115. But it was a gift, so I didn't pay for it. Well, technically, it was a gift from my kids, so technically, I did pay for it.
Yeah. I paid cover price, whatever it happened to be when they were not vintage.
Oh, what do you got there, Richard?
Neuromancer by the looks of it.
Yeah, the first printing of Neuromancer. It was a paperback before it was a hardcover.
Such a good book.
I had a double of this one and I had to sell it. I mean, I do that a lot, and I had to start putting them in files because when I started filing them, I started noticing, wait, I have doubles. This is a problem.
I have a feeling that almost all book collectors have doubles problems.
Yep,
do I have that book or don't I?
Hey, Tau Zero, if you want to jump on, email me at pulpmortem@gmail.com, and I'll send you a link to get on. But he asked a good question here. What made you all want to pick up the camera and start talking about books?
Boredom. Nah, it's nice to talk about books, honestly. It gets it off your brain a little. Especially when you have groups that, know a lot about sci-fi and vintage sci-fi and other vintage books. It's always nice, honestly.
Yeah, to talk with like-minded people.
Mm-hmm. It's good to have people like that because you can share one's knowledge and they can share their knowledge of them.
Yeah.
I initially wanted to just cover like indie science fiction and fantasy, and the first one I did was an indie book. I covered an independently published Conan Pastiche by Chuck Dixon. That was the first video I made, like sometime in late 2023, and I was like, I don't know if I like doing this. And then I started watching Michael K. Vaughn's YouTube channel.
Yeah, he's cool.
And I love Michael K. Vaughn so much, but he's so freaking awkward. I love him to death, but he's just such an awkward human being to watch. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's so cool and funny, but he's so awkward. And you know what? If he can do this in front of a camera and talk to a plastic Halloween mummy in the background on the internet, I can do something similar. So that's when I was like, screw it. I'll take my phone to something and record some videos.
I never knew that BookTube existed, but I was watching YouTube on my TV, and all of a sudden popped up two grumpy old men talking about science fiction. And it was Stephen E. Andrews and his buddy Greg. I can't remember his name. But I'm going, those guys are my age, and I know a little bit about science fiction. They like John Wyndham and others I like them too. And then I just started thinking about it. I think I can do this. If they can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same. I didn't know BookTube was a thing. I just thought I'm just going to start talking about these because nobody in my life is talking about these old books, and I don't know anybody else who reads books, and the people that do read books don't read what I like reading. And so yeah, I started it and didn't even know it was a thing. And then I stumbled across kind of around on the exact same day. I stumbled across Sci-Fi John at the Sci-Fi Scavenger, which I've tried to get him on a million times. He's a busy boy. You, Richard, and Ira at SF Works of Wonder. And I was just like instantly intimidated because I was like, I don't know anything about these old sci-fi books. That's kind of why I decided to go into it like a novice, like somebody who doesn't know much about old and just kind of with as much childlike wonder as I can. And that's kind of why I still review that way of not knowing as much about the author until I actually finish the book. But yeah, that's why I started through it.
The three of us, John, Ira, and myself, we all started April 2023.
Really?
Or sorry, 2020. This is, well, I guess we're getting to 2023, April 2023.
Jeez.
So we're like the triplets.
the three wise men of YouTube, of BookTube.
I don't know.
I
not John.
Try to find people that were similar to me because my husband's not a reader and he tries to understand it and he does try. That's all that matters. But ever since I started finding more people that were into the things I was into, I was able to find a community through YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. And I started seeing all these books and I was like, I need that and that. But it's opened up my world a lot to what's out there in book-wise because in elementary school, I started with The Shining by Stephen King, and I read it in middle school. I kind of dropped off reading until 2020. And when I started up, I wound up with almost 500 books. And I have some regrets because it's like when I was moving to my new place, it's like, okay, I have boxes of books that weigh almost 50 pounds each. And moving upstairs was so difficult. And I told my husband, like, by the time we move again, I may have more than 584 books. But reading I want to say it has helped me emotionally and physically. It's helped my depression, honestly. It's helped a lot with that. It's a way to escape. And how I see it, it's like you can go into this world and you ignore this one for a little bit. When you have to come back into it, it's kind of like, no, I don't want to go back in that. But
How much do you read, Bookworm?
oh goodness, I can read at least 3 books at a time, sometimes 5 at a time. It all depends on my mood, really.
Do people like doing that? Have a number going at the same time? Because I'm usually more of a one book at a time person.
I can do 2 if they're different genres.
Yeah.
Same
I
for
usually
me. I
do-
can do 2 at the same time, but usually I'll keep it to 1 as well.
Yeah.
I'll usually do like one novel and then like one short story collection, or something like that, just so I'm not 2 long things at the same time.
That I can
Yeah.
do a short story collection and then a novel at the same time.
Yeah, I think for me, I think the reason why I read so many at a time, my brain physically is like, okay, I'm tired of this one. Let's see about this one. Because I don't want to keep reading one book and then go into a reading slump. I hate when that happens. So I try to just sit down to the side and go to this one to try to prevent that to happen.
Gotcha. Yeah, if you can do it, that makes sense.
Yeah, currently, I hope for next year, because my goal was 100 books to read this year. It failed badly with everything was going on, but I hope for next year 110 to 112 to get this read down a little bit.
Good luck.
If I don't keep adding.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck.
Because every time I add, it's like, well, I'm not getting to this.
Do any of you guys feel guilty about doing big book hauls? Because I know that's a big thing on YouTube now. It's kind of like the whole consumerist culture.
I just feel
I've kind
bad
of gone
doing
overboard on my little vacation that I took. But you know, I just go. I'm retired. It's way cheaper than golf.
There you go.
That's very true.
Like my guys always tell me, at least it's not alcohol and drugs that you're spending your money on.
I love watching the book hauls. Richard's was
Oh.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Book hauls are amazing.
oh yeah, they really are. But I don't buy many books anymore. I've got so many.
You've got them all.
I've got all the book hauls. People with their book hauls. I've already got that. I read that years ago.
You back.
But
Matt's back. He worked out again, and now he's. Oh my gosh.
Brett, those bookshelves behind you look great. I'd love to look through there.
Oh, yes. Well, when you guys are doing your book hauls, you're looking through shelves like this, and I always say, "Well, I've got that one. I've got that one." And so book hauls are fun to watch, but I have no desire to buy more books. I do everything on my Kindle now, or especially from the library.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome when they started that.
Yeah.
Richard, how fun was it going through Iris books?
Oh, I was just completely nerding out. I mean, he had the books that we were going to trade that I could trade with him, but I'm just looking at everything on his shelves. You see in his episodes, all those shelves there. He's got more. There's another wall of shelves there, and he's really good at finding stuff. Helena, Montana is not a big place, but he travels and you can see that he's picking up some great stuff. Actually, Billings, Montana had an amazing bookstore called A Few Books More. I couldn't believe it. But you know what? I think book hauls are vicarious book shopping, and that's why people love it. It's, I can't get out to a used bookstore, but I can watch what that guy did.
Right.
Have any of you heard of a service? I just found it the other day called "Send Me a Bad Book."
Oh no!
So
Tell us
apparently,
more
these people
immediately.
I don't know if they're still doing it, but you go to the website, you take a survey about what kind of book you would like, and then they will go to one of their local bookstores and find something completely the opposite and mail it to you.
Oh man,
I've heard of the other concept that you try to find a book you like.
I just stumbled across them the other day. I'm like, I'm tempted, honestly, to see what comes up, but
that'd be pretty funny.
Jake, don't get any ideas.
I make you guys buy enough bad books as it is.
I know.
He sends them to you in the mail.
There was
He
one.
sends them to me in the mail. He makes me buy them. It's ridiculous.
There was one I was going to review on this channel, and Nick said no.
I know exactly the one you're talking about.
Nick said it was John Jake's Black in Time. So do I have it back here? I do.
Just the title sounds like it's a problem.
I can imagine.
Oh gosh. It's so ridiculous.
Right on. Basically, yeah, a white supremacist and a goes back in time to eliminate all black people, and so another black guy goes back to pursue him and stop them. And Nick's like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. I think it's probably smart, but so if anybody wants to do a buddy read and get demonetized instantly, just let me know. Because I'm gonna do it because I'm stupid.
You're just gonna make us read Galaxy 666. That's all.
I did tell you guys to be on your lookout for Galaxy 666.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I plan on reading that next year.
Whenever I see you guys talking about books, I'm thinking, I don't think I'm going to ever come across a book that I'm going to read that these guys are going to read.
The way that Jake is taking our show, you probably won't.
You're gonna come across them, Richard, but you're just gonna keep doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day you're gonna see a copy of Bumsider, and then
I've already have, and I just said no.
What? You found one in the wild?
I don't care. It's
because of us. They all got scooped up, and a bunch of angry customers are out there.
I wonder, has Bumsider risen in price? Like, have you made it?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Novel?
I doubt it, but maybe.
But it was weird how you brought that up. You said, we're going to do this for Eves. And then weirdly enough, a lot of people kept showing that book off in like book hauls, and we would see it in the background in people's bookshelves. It was really weird.
I did see Duncan scooped it up and was like, this cover's just great. I was like, no, Duncan. I'm sorry I made you miss out on your money, Duncan.
This is going to be some of my reads here for next year.
Nice.
I hope to get to them, but who knows? I'm especially curious about this one.
Oh, I just bought that one, I think.
Short novels, okay.
Yeah, I just bought that one.
Yeah, it's been on my shelf for 2 years.
There's so many things I learned about books when I first started out. One of the things is I always thought short stories is always, it's a collection of short stories or an anthology that everything was the same. But an anthology, probably almost all of you know that, but an anthology is of different authors, collection of their short stories, or a group of their short stories, whereas a single author is a collection. And that was something it took me a while to get.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was a problem in my head, but
I just now got that.
I found that out literally after I published a book of my short stories and titled it An Anthology of Sword and Sorcery. And I was like, look at the definition. I was like, well, you know what? Now I look like an idiot.
And you got Richard in the comments going, actually.
Oh, actually.
Just put 2 pin names on there. You're good.
Yeah,
names. Slap them on there.
Oh, Bookworms Keep has it. Galaxy 6.
Oh, no.
yeah.
Oh, no.
It kind of looks like the Enterprise on there.
Yeah, that's what
It
I was
is.
telling my husband. Like, is that a ripoff?
Is 100% an Enterprise ripoff. Yeah. Look at that.
Apparently the book is a Star Trek ripoff, so.
But I think out of all the books I picked off my shelf, this is like my most favorite.
What's it called?
like that
Babylon?
The Heirs of Babylon by Glenn Cook, if I'm saying that correct.
Okay.
Keep hearing a lot of good things about Glenn Cook.
Oh, Joseph reads books, loves Glenn Cook.
My gosh, he can't shut up about Glenn Cook.
I think the other one I'm curious about is this one.
The Second Atlantis. Yeah, I have that one as well.
I just
Duncan.
read this one because of Joseph reads books.
Mm-hmm.
I was
I'm,
lucky enough to
on the
get
fence on this one.
a hold of this one.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think
And
I do have 2 more of his books. I just haven't gotten to them because I don't know if he's like a good author or not, and I've been hesitant to read his other books. They're somewhere on here. I haven't categorized.
I have 3 of his books, and all of them are time travel. Like that seems to be the trope that he loves. And I have a commenter who always talks about how he would go around. Haven't heard of that one. They went around to all the conventions in the Southwest, and people knew him from the conventions, but he went by a different name. He didn't go by Wilson Tucker. I think he went by Bob or something like that.
Oh.
And so they didn't connect that he was actually an author. A lot.
Yeah, there's been a lot of authors I've come across, and everybody's like, that's a it's the author, but it's a different name." I've come across so many of those. Like, are you sure? Because I'm not sure half the time.
Yeah.
And I think I've come across about 6 of those half the time.
That's where the Encyclopedia of Science Fiction comes in handy. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I thought about getting that book because if I want to start collecting more of these books, I do need to educate myself more on them because I know some are rare to find, some are kind of rare, but still can be found. And then you got some that are fix-up novels, authors that use different pen names, and it's like, I do need to educate myself on that.
There was a number of women authors who wanted to be able to sell books, or their publishers wanted them to be able to sell books. So they had either male names, or they used just their initials to try to sell books. And that, you know what, there was a time, and I have to admit for myself too, that I was just looking at the male authors. I really wasn't interested in female authors. That's something I've been really enjoying now as I look at authors. But, you know, for example, James Tiptree Jr. is Alice Sheldon is who that really is. And C.L. Moore is Catherine Louise Moore.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite authors I've read this year.
She's awesome. Love her stuff. I just read Shambleau, her short story Shambleau.
Yeah,
fantastic.
There's a few more connected to that character.
Yeah, I need to read the rest of those Northwest Smith stories. They're awesome.
Yeah, including one where he meets Jarell of Jory.
I read about that somewhere. I'm like, oh, I need to find this one.
Yeah,
because when if Nick was still on, he'd share this sentiment. When I finished Jarell of Jory for the first time, I was like, "There's got to be more. There's got to be more."
Great,
in the story.
Yeah.
That's why I recommended you this, because it's the closest.
I gotta find that now, dude.
Yeah,
sounds awesome.
Matt seems to always find some really great authors from like the 30s, 40s, and 50s. I know when you were talking about Lee Brackett and some of those other authors.
And a lot of times it's an author I've had on my shelf for years and never got to. And then, I had the same thing with C.L. Moore when I got to her, and I was just like, oh my God.
Right? Yeah, exact same thing.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I've read Martian Quest, the early short stories of Lee Brackett, and that was also because I've watched a video by Matt.
Oh,
nice.
The only Lee Brackett I have is this old Ace Double edition of Sword of Rhiannon, but I'm terrified to read this because the book is in such like weathered condition that just picking it up, it's already like flaked apart as I was taking it off my shelf. So I'm kind of nervous. The other side is Conan the Conqueror. So
anyway, I've got to go. So Happy New Year to you all.
Nice to finally meet you, Andrew. Happy New Year, brother.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
In answer to that
there we
question,
go.
I don't have a video up yet about that book, but sometime in the next week or so.
Here, what do you got there, Brett? Let's see it full screen again.
The brackets, the new brackets.
Well, that's a pretty cap.
I need to read her stuff.
Yeah, she's great.
She wrote the screenplay for Empire Strikes Back, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did she really?
Yeah, apparently.
The original screenplay. It got changed a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I thought Lawrence Kasdan did the final screenplay for that.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah, this is another one that has to be glued. I found this at a yard sale.
Oh, is that the book that is it a novelization of the movie or the movie was based on it? Probably a novelization.
It does not say.
I
Yeah, it
kinda
does
feel like
not.
it was a screenplay first for Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah. I've seen the movie. Oddly enough, I love the movie.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, I have to figure out how to glue that, and I do not want to damage it. But it was only a quarter, and I saw it, and I was like, that's coming
Nice.
to me.
Yeah, that's easy math right there.
And strangely enough, whenever I first picked it up, now this is going to sound weird, but it smelled like your grandmother's attic. And it wasn't a bad smell. It's like, huh, why does that smell like an attic?
Do any of you guys watch News from the Gilding?
Oh my gosh. I love when he sniffs the books.
He's such a, I love him. He's such a fruit. He'll just go and tell you what he's smelling. And it is the funniest thing on YouTube. I don't know why this guy is, we're getting him on Ebs soon, but like he's the funniest thing on YouTube because he'll be like oak and slight fecal matter or something off the wall every single time, but he'll sniff his books every single time he does the haul. I can't stop laughing at that guy. So
Yeah, it reminds me of like Niles and Fraser Crane with wine.
Yep.
There's a guy named Jack who has a channel. I can't remember his channel's name. He just had a baby actually.
Book
but
Jack.
he does that too all the time. He loves to sniff the books.
We're getting him on Ebs pretty soon too. I
good,
love Book Jack.
good.
He's great. He's cool.
I got a shirt my husband got me. It's called, the title says book sniffing, a way for a book nerd to get high.
It's true. It's so true.
So true.
Because every time I go to a used bookstore and I'm looking for books that I need or I'm trying to find, he'll catch me sniffing them. And he'll look at me like, what's the problem? Like, why are you bothering me?
Boo, Mark Clark, boo.
Wow.
Boo to ebooks. We want to sniff them.
Yeah.
You can't smell ebooks. Nice.
It's not hoarding if it's books.
If you go shopping ever with Liminal Spaces Chris, he knows where to pick up all these shirts.
Is Chris's beard in real life as powerful as it is on the screen?
It's magnificent.
Oh
it's
my
amazing.
gosh. I
You're gonna see it tomorrow.
want to touch it.
Like in a few hours, you're going to see it because I do an episode with him on a book
nice.
haul.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah. We were talking about the Wall of Daw earlier.
The Wall of Daw.
Yeah. And he doesn't have them all. He's still picking them up.
That's crazy. There's so many. How many per year did they put out? It's outrageous.
Well, the yellow Daws,
Yeah.
580.
A year?
No, that's how many
Or
they had
total?
total of the yellow spine version of the Daws. But no, yeah, I don't know how many they did. Had to be at least 5 to 10 a month, maybe more.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Very collectible though, aren't they?
Oh, I can't say no.
Who don't like the Daws?
The problem is the what's her name? Shoot. There's one author that I won't buy.
Oh,
Andre Norton.
It's only because I've already bought them all. No. It's
you couldn't have bought them all.
It's another gal.
Buy them all.
Yeah, right. It's impossible. Shoot. You guys can help me? She was in a scandal.
Marion Zimmer
Bradley. Marion Zimmer Bradley.
Yeah.
I can't do it. There are some authors that I can kind of look past separate the art from the artist, but for whatever reason, I can't do it with her.
I have that trouble too.
Yeah.
It was funny. I'd never read any of her books, and I got a book in a book haul once that had like a quote or something from her on the front cover. I was like, well, if Marion Zimmer Bradley thinks it's good, it must be good. And then I found out later, I was like, oh.
That doesn't mean she wasn't a bad judge of fiction.
No, that's true. That's true.
Now, but she had a writers group that she would have give a good blurb for.
Mm.
What about Stephen King? Does that guy get paid for every blurb he does? Like,
How
I think every
nuts, right?
second book I ever see has his, in science fiction and horror, has his blurb on it.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
I love when
Waiting
it's like
for
a
one
book I've
blurb to
never
say
heard of.
Stephen King looked at the cover.
Yeah, exactly. It's always like a book I never heard of, but then at the top it'll be like the best horror I've read in decades, Stephen King. It's like, what?
It's like, is it their way of trying to sell the book?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Because it's like he is the king of horror, basically.
Well, if you see his name on the cover, you say, "Oh, it's got to be a good book." If you like
Yeah.
it.
Unless, of course, you've read a Stephen King book.
Rosa Parks, and he had a blurb on it. Now the book
I
was
thought my takes were bad.
it wasn't good. Towards the end, it just plummeted.
Years ago, I went through and I was just reading all the Stephen King books, and I stopped at Revival. Have you guys read Revival?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because it actually made me mad. Because I'm like, this is just Frankenstein. You just copied Frankenstein, and not the good original Frankenstein, the movie of Frankenstein, which is way different than the book.
Like Universal.
You copied Universal Frankenstein in addition to copying Lovecraft and everybody else. You lazy. You haven't been good since you quit doing drugs.
He even was copying himself. I think there was a little Pet Cemetery in there too.
Cell. I read Cell right before that, and I'm like, this is just the Stand. You're copying yourself now. He doesn't remember what he wrote. Yeah,
I still have a soft spot for 11/22/63. I love it as a time travel story.
I own 2 Stephen King books that are legitimately phenomenal. The Long Walk as Robert Bachman, legitimately phenomenal. It's a work of art. It's amazing. And Doom McKee, which nobody on earth talks about.
Nope,
but is great.
I love it too.
Thank you. Oh, see,
It's
I have good taste, Internet. I have good taste.
What, you don't have a copy of The Gunslinger? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I tried getting into those. I think I got to the 3rd Dark Tower. Then I was like, there's crabs now. What's happened? What is this? Yeah, I just lost.
I've gone through 4 of them. And quite honestly, like books 3 and 4 could have been half the length.
Yes.
I've yet to read, what's it over here? Wolves of Kala, but I'm hoping at least, goes somewhere in the second half. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The only Stephen Kings I have is Salem's Lot and If It Bleeds. That's the only 2 I have.
There's some good stories in If It Bleeds.
Yeah, I have a cover that I found out in the wild, and I posted it to a group that I'm part of on Facebook, and they're like, "Hey, that cover is at least $40. Where did you get it?" Like, $40? I gave $5 for this.
It's not even that old. That's what, maybe 6-7 years ago.
I hate it. It's creepy. Let me grab it. It's over here on my other shelf.
I went away from science fiction for a while when I was, had kids and doing my job and stuff, and I always just wanted to read things that were fast commercial reads.
And it's
just
mostly the
popcorn
cat.
entertainment.
Yeah.
The cat is creepy. And every time I pick it up, I have to lay it this way where the cat's not showing.
I don't think I've seen that cover before.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
yeah. When I saw it, I was like, yeah, I'm taking this home, even though the cat's terrifying me.
Well, I read a lot of King and I read a lot of Michael Connolly. He does Hieronymus Bosch mysteries, thrillers, and those were the kind of books. Oh, also the Jack Reacher books. Lee Child.
I've heard those are fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Tim says no.
No, there's definitely here.
Yeah.
And the one guy that I actually turned to after Stephen King. Now Stephen King's good, but Robert McCammon is really good with horror. I read Swan Song by him 3 years ago, and then I read Mystery Walk, and that book, wow, it was a roller coaster because there was so many twists and turns. Like, wait, you're his brother? Wait, you're his twin? Wait, what's going on? And I lived in Collinsville, Alabama for a little bit, and that was in the book. And I was talking about how, very Christian those people were. And in the book, it was kind of like the crazy Christians that are out there, like the mega Christians, the ones that are kind of got a little bolts loose. But I think one thing that could have done without was the inexcessive word of the N word. There was so much of it. Like I counted 5 times. Like, is that necessary?
Sounds like Bug Jack Barron by Norman Spinrad.
Yeah, I read James Blish, and that's in there. I read what was it? Where is this guy at?
It's all about context, though, right? I mean, if you read In the Heat of the Night, you're understanding it's of that time, and it's describing the culture and the relationships.
Yeah, it's my dad's always told me to go into anything with an open mind, and with books that come from the 40s all the way up to the late 70s, that you're going to have certain things that are a little uncomfortable, but that was just normal for them at their time. It was totally normal.
Tau Zero, you get on this stream right now and you explain yourself. Explain yourself and let me explain how you're wrong about Doom McKee. Dang it.
I think it's a perfect book for a midlife crisis, I think.
I think what it stuck with me is because it was the first book that he wrote in a long time where it was actually him. Not just like the persona of Stephen King writing whatever he wants and I'm going to kill whoever, it was actually like, it's because it had to do with his car accident. And it was the direct correlation between him and the main character. And I think around the same time I was in a major car accident that really, really physically messed me up. And so around that same time, I think that's kind of when I read that a year or two after that. So it really, really resonated with me. Plus the fact that it starts off with this like tragic story, and then it morphs into this kind of very surreal, him making this art, and then it morphs into outright horror, nautical horror, then into like an Indiana Jones-esque adventure. Like it's just
and there's
awesome.
there's a getting away from your life. Like he starts off in Minnesota and he ends up in Florida and the Keys, and it's getting away from so many things in his life and the cold, and to be on the beach doing his artwork. And then of course horror comes into it.
What's going on, Matt?
How's it going? Can everybody hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. What's happening, brother?
Not a lot. I just saw a bunch of my favorite folks on here. I wanted to say hi.
Nice. Well, I'd say you have good taste, but I don't know. I can speak for myself.
I just, it's good to see so many people reading the older stuff. Oh, that's my dog. Can you hear my dog?
We got him. Happy New Year, dog.
People shooting off fireworks outside, so he's in a bad mood. Come here, bub.
I think one of my most important part of my collection is the original titles to the Foundation. These are like important to me. And I hope to find the other original title.
I don't think those are the original title. I think that's the Ace title from Ace Books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, I'm not really very educated on these yet. I'm still new to this, and I love getting, comments and, telling me, oh, that's wrong, and like this is right. Like, okay, I'll keep that in mind.
But those are great. I love the Ace books. Those are awesome.
Is that one of the Stumpy Ace ones, the shorter?
Sort of a rack size. I always imagine it's in like
those
spinner rack in a drugstore or something.
I don't know why, but I would pick a shorter, stumpier one over the normal size mass market rack. I don't know why, but I love them.
Oh, the
Cool.
pocket-sized editions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They usually have great art too. Usually.
They're just like my favorite little books, and they go so well on the shelf that my husband got me. This is actually a DVD shelf, but I said no.
So what are you reading right now, Matt? Well, we got two Matts on here. Matt Groves.
Well, I just finished a book that Secret Fire needs to read, which is Myth the Wind.
Oh, I do need to. I need to.
It's
Absolutely.
very difficult to find, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But if you like, it's sort of like Fritz Leiber or Jack Vance. I describe it as Fritz Leiber in a world painted by, do you know this painter called Hieronymus Bosch?
Yes. Yes.
He paints these weird, crazy scenes out of like Dante's Inferno and stuff. So
Right.
it's that kind of stuff going on. And it's just fantastic. One of the, just a great book and needs to get back in print. I think Centipede Press printed it.
Nice. Yeah, it's been on my list for a long time.
$500 or something.
Yeah, exactly. That and all the basically everything by Carl Edward Wagner. I'm trying to get it, but it's like
Yeah, I do have Bloodstone somewhere.
We got a real Mexican joining us.
Oh my god!
What's going on, AJ?
Definitely a real Mexican. Yes. I just got back from a wedding on New Year's Eve for some reason.
Those are your real friends.
I'm currently in a rich person's house. I don't live here.
I hope you got invited.
Must be nice to have friends.
Yeah, I have not been watching the stream, so I have no idea what you're talking about. Just jumping straight in. I'm gonna raw dog this live stream.
That's good. Welcome. We're talking about what were we talking about, you guys? I wasn't even paying attention.
How you have terrible taste in books? I don't.
It's no secret.
And then you try to push them on all your friends.
I think
who never did anything wrong.
The only reason he read a good book this year is because I made him.
Because you got him on the Hyperion. Read along. Yeah,
I did read Hyperion on your channel, which is great. You guys should sub to Technically Mexican. That's where I met Bryce from Shelf Centered at a live stream there. It was a lot of fun. It was very funny YouTuber. We need to get you on the Elusive Exclusive Book Society, but
yeah, I'd love to.
I don't like you that much.
Okay.
I would like to point out, by the way, that Bryce has not spoken to me since we reviewed Bumpside. I've commented on his videos, but
that is the funniest part of that video was the fact that Bryce is just giggling the whole time.
Yeah. I feel so bad for him. He spent like $12 on his copy of Bumpsider, and it came to him in pieces.
Here's what I will say. You're mad at me for making you read, Tim. You're mad at me for making you read bad books. Every time you say, let's read this book, it cost me $25.
Okay, fair.
I just ordered Conan, the new one. What are we reading again? I don't even remember what we're reading next.
Conan the Conqueror, also known as The Hour of the Dragon.
$25.
Was it really?
Yeah.
There's no way, dude.
There is a way.
There are cheaper copies.
There's a great website called Audiobook Bay.
It was free on Project Gutenberg, but the thing is, I'm like, I want it. I want to hold it.
Physical.
Which edition did you buy?
The 76 edition or the 73 edition.
Well, dude, they have like, I'm pretty sure they have like cheap print-on-demand editions.
I'm not gonna buy a crappy cheap version. I want an old one. Dang it!
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
$1.75.
That actually might be the one I bought.
Damn. Don't you feel stupid now?
Shut up. What are you reading
sometimes
right
wonder-
now, AJ? What are you reading?
I actually just read like 5 books because it was the end of the year and I hadn't read as many books as I did last year, and so I felt bad about myself. So I popped in a bunch of novellas to boost my stats. But that was coming off of Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson, Stormlight 5, and I hated it. I hated that book.
Yes, yes, AJ.
And I am a Sanders simp. Like, I love every book he's ever written. I hated Stormlight 5, and so I've been recovering. I reread Ender's Game. I read another Orson Scott Card book, Lost Boys, and I read a bunch of novellas. I popped in a Terry Pratchett book so I wouldn't cry myself to sleep at night.
Why is it bad?
Yeah, it's a completely different story. It doesn't deliver on any of the promises set up since the beginning of the series. It's almost as bad as the Wheel of Time TV show. It systematically destroys. It systematically destroys every main character except for Adolin. Adolin is fantastic.
That's a hot take.
So is it worth even getting book 5 of the Starlight Icon?
I regret reading book 5.
Oh my god.
Oh,
dude,
boy.
I've heard bad reviews. I didn't know it was that bad. Good grief.
That's like 1,000 views or something.
You're legitimately mad.
I'm pissed off. And I think the reason why you're not getting really strong reviews is because people are scared of talking bad about Brandon Sanderson. And I can't believe that I'm saying this. But I hate the book.
Oh my god!
I was gonna get book 5 because I read the first 2.
No,
Joseph.
Joseph, you came at the wrong time, buddy.
Came at the wrong time.
Oh, no. Why?
We're ripping apart Brandon Sanderson's newest book.
Build up the world and everything. It was fantastic.
Hey.
No, I love books 1 and 2. Well, Way of Kings is probably the best book that he's ever written, and the series was supposed to be his magnum opus. And I loved the second book. Book 3 was even better. Not as good as the first one. I think the first one's the best. And then book 4 struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
I really didn't like the Kaladin stuff, but it's worth. The ending of book 4 is so good it makes up for the middle, which kind of sucked.
I think there's supposed to be 5 more in the series or something, or 4
There's
more.
going to be
5 more.
So 5 more, but this is the ending. So it's a 10-book series in 2 parts. So this is the ending of the first part, and this is the ending for all of the main characters. And the second set of 5 books is going to focus on the next generation of characters. And the old characters, the ones that are still alive, will just be in the background. So this is the end of the story,
So I have one main question: is Rock still alive? I don't care if it's spoiled. I just want to know.
Rock isn't in the book.
What?
Rock
No.
has been gone since book 3. He never shows up again. He's supposed to have a novella that takes place during book 4, the Horn Eater novella. He's just pulled out of the series.
So,
Yeah.
You were forced to go to a wedding, AJ, on New Year's, and then I brought.
It was a really nice wedding. It was a really nice wedding, and it was earlier in the day. It started at 5:00 my time, and so you still have time to go to your parties.
I do want to say I gave up on book 2. Now I can't remember her name, but she had red hair.
Shalon.
She's the worst.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I hated her.
She's the worst. She just gets worse.
I told my husband I stopped reading because of that ginger.
Yeah, I liked her in the first 2 books, and she only gets worse from there. So if you already hate her, I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know if I keep reading.
That just skim over her part. Just like look for important things and just go on. I couldn't stand how she was like oh goodness, it's hard to describe her character. She was just like one of those snobby high school girls that you just wanted to punch in the throat.
From there she turns into like a TikTok mental health patient.
Oh my god!
So
right,
I'm sorry, is that not all the characters in that series?
No. Well, here's yeah. Kaladin's depression.
Are you guys just hating on Brandon Sanderson now because now he went from being kind of off to the side, he went from being indie, and now he's the mainstream. Now he's it. Is that why? Are you just haters?
I just spent $300 on his. I just spent $300 on his RPG books. I love Brandon Sanderson.
I mean, I love Brandon Sanderson too, but hearing this is like,
Joseph, are they haters? What's going on?
I don't know. I liked Wind and Truth. It's one of my. I think it's my new favorite Stormlight Archive book.
Oh dang! Joseph, AJ, fight!
I hate that Kaladin turns into a therapist in book 5, and he uses the word therapist.
Oh, no.
Well, it was given to him by someone from another planet. So.
And I hate that. And I hate that Lift is all of a sudden using modern day swear words when Sanderson is known for his unique swear words. Like he stole that. That was the one thing he stole from Robert Jordan is each book, each world has their own list of swear words.
Yeah.
And
she also got that from the same bad influence.
No, she got it from Vasher, and Vasher is from Nalthus, and Nalthus has their own set of swear words. They're not like ours.
Yeah, but where else has Vasher been to?
He hasn't been to Chicago.
No.
If you're just now tuning in, everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Brandon Sanderson Showdown.
Counterpoint.
Yeah, right.
So here's the thing.
I never said I didn't like Lord of the Rings. I just said it is mid.
That's opinion.
When was the last time you read it? When was the last time you read this book?
Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Oh God, 20 years ago.
Exactly.
I read The Hobbit.
So pick it up again.
A few years ago.
I reread them. I read them last year.
And middle school.
I read the first 100 pages of the first one, and I'm just going, there's like these little guys dancing in fields, smoking pot, and then running away from someone. This is not for me.
You can skip the first chapter of Fellowship of the Ring.
No. Don't. No. I'm putting my foot down.
Look, I love Lord of the Rings, but it is a bizarre choice to open up your book with an excerpt from an in-world textbook about hobbits. That is a weird choice.
Is it though? Is it really?
It's just to the only reason it's there is to explain the setting to the book for people who are expecting The Hobbit 2. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, okay, this is the Hobbit stuff that you want, but that's not what the story's about.
I'll tell you what's a weird choice. 2 words. Tom Bombadil.
No,
that's a weird choice.
Yeah, that's a weird.
If it wasn't for movies, I wouldn't know at all what the story's about.
Oh my gosh.
The movies are great.
The definitive Middle Earth is the Rankin and Bass cartoon in the 80s.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
With that guy with the most vibrato voice ever.
Frodo of the 9 fingers and the Ring of Doom.
Didn't National Lampoon make a book that was
Yeah, Board of the Rings.
There it is. Yeah,
that's right.
It's ridiculous. It's free on Audible, by the way. I don't know if it still is, but it was.
I have a 50th anniversary edition of Lord of the Rings in the living room.
I've liked the best copy of Lord of the Rings, which is the Science Fiction Book Club edition. It has some of the most beautiful art, and it wraps around like the whole book.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I want that version so bad.
I recently
Yeah,
bought oh, go ahead.
I can understand not enjoying the Silmarillion, but you have to enjoy Lord of the Rings.
I didn't say I didn't enjoy it. I just said it's okay.
It is a tough read for what is ostensibly supposed to be a children's book.
The Hobbit's a children's book. Lord of the Rings isn't.
I read the cover off it.
Yeah, whenever I read it in elementary school, my mom found it, The Hobbit, at a yard sale for no more than a quarter. She brought it home and read it to me. And then when I started learning how to pick up the words, because I was born with dyslexia, and books were a way to help me, write and speak right and kind of in a way. And when I started getting able to read the book, she couldn't keep me inside. I wanted to stay outside. I wanted to go on my own adventures because of that book.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you had the opposite effect of reading books.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, my dyslexia used to be really bad. Like now in middle school up to high school, I used to read books this way, like upside down. And I gradually got to this way. That was the only way for me to read books was upside down.
So you could actually understand it, comprehend it upside down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's fascinating.
Bookworm, we need you to make your own BookTube channel immediately.
Yeah,
awesome. I'm gonna try.
Well,
to
I'm curious. I'm amazed that you still read physical books because I have slight dyslexia. It's not as severe as most cases, and I just gave up. I just do audiobooks now. I can read. It's just so much easier and faster for me to listen to a book.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, for me, when I first started reading, I did have trouble with words because it would get mixed up. My mom would have to explain it to me, word it out for me. Like big words, no, thank you. No, I'm not doing big words. But my dyslexia was really, really bad. Like severely bad.
I'm not even close to that bad.
It was backwards. Oh gosh, like my schoolwork, my poor teacher. She gave me my paper. She's like, "What's this mean?" And I told her word by word what it was. She's like, "Okay, I guess that's an A." Like I caught I physically knew what it was, and she didn't, and I felt like an outcast because you had these smart people and whatnot, and here I am, just like kind of dumb a little.
Bookworm, I know so many people who are dyslexic, and none of them read. Like, they just don't. Like that is. I'm dead serious. That is so amazing. Like I definitely think I agree with BookPig here. Let's get this channel going for sure. Let us know when it gets going because we will promote it for sure. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm striving for February, but what I'm going to let people know that I'm shy. I do stutter, which it's kind of obvious. And I'm terrible at reviews. So when I review a book, I do tend to forget a little bit what it was about. So I have to have little notes or like little tabs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Outline it.
Yeah.
No one's gonna care. No one's gonna care about that. Just do it.
Like with it has to be a pencil, not a pen, because it's like a pencil you can erase it, a pen you can't. And I don't like when people write in their books. For some reason, it triggers my brain to a rage episode, or like people that break their spines. Like, why are you doing this? Why did you choose to do this?
There's one BookTube there's one booktuber I know who does that on purpose, and it's just
Yeah,
horrible.
there was one lady I came across, and she angered me. She angered an entire community of vintage collectors. She had a rare paperback of a sci-fi book, and she just yoinked it, and the pages just fell out of it. And she's like, "This is why I don't like old books. They just crumble." Like, sweetheart, it's the glue. It's the glue that they used. What are you doing? Like, I try to, like, whenever I read, as far as I open the book, I do not go any further than that because I care so much about them that I don't want to crease this or the spine. I try to take them to a point where, like my dad taught me, treat it like you can't replace it because half these you can't replace.
Yeah,
And
I kind of love it when they're all beat up.
yeah,
Like if I get a copy that's beat up, I'm like, dude, this thing's been read 20 times. I love that.
like, I guess my signed
Either that or
copy
someone
of
propped it up on
Alien.
the table with it.
I've had this since elementary school. So, I mean, I've read it so much that it's split down the middle. I now have the original, the others up here. My dad bought these for me because I've always loved Alien. I even have a VHS set up there and a DVD set.
Nice.
What are you reading right now, Joseph?
I'm 25% of the way through Earth Abides by George Stewart, and I just finished another John D. MacDonald, like Travis McGee novel.
Of course you did.
I've read one a week since I started reading them in August. I've read 13 McGee novels now, and I read this. My wife found this, which is a first edition, first printing of his Great American Novel, which this was the inspiration for that King novel that we were talking about that takes place in Florida.
Doomickey?
Yeah, Doomickey.
Yeah,
like
that's the condominium. Yeah, I watched you talking about that.
Yeah, and so
Do you think the Earth Abides adaptation is going to be any good, or?
I have no idea. I hope so. I mean, the book's been fantastic so far. I've loved it. Like George Stewart is so good at making like the apocalypse itself a character.
Yeah, it kind of feels like one of those shows where they might not be willing to do like the time jumps, and they might just do their own thing after the first section of the book.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me if it gets to basically where I'm at in the book and then it just kind of meanders off.
And part of it's a love note really to books and to knowing things, and I'm not sure how they'll handle that in the TV series.
Gotcha.
It's an awesome book if people haven't read it. I
heard it's great.
I have it, but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one book I want to read is Earth Abide because it's the TV show, but I have mixed feelings on the TV show, honestly. Like, I don't know if it follows the book or if they, deviated from the book a little. I know you could do so much with a TV show and a book at the same time. I know you can't put certain things in a TV show or a movie.
Yeah, I saw on YouTube the first 5 minutes of. I haven't seen the show itself, but I saw the first 5 minutes, and that pretty much was exactly what the book had in terms of the main character getting bit by a rattlesnake and having some trouble.
I thought that too was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think also, now this is just my personal opinion, and I know everybody else's, especially my sister said no. But I read I Am Legend by Richard Matheson, and I love the movie, but I kind of liked more where the book was going. I liked how that was going. I mean,
Which movie?
Okay.
I Am Legend or the
Omega
I
Man?
Am Legend.
Omega Man. That's right. With Charles.
There's three. There's three movies.
Really?
Oh, there is. Only
Last Man on Earth.
Will Smith.
Yeah, there's one before Omega Man, right? Yeah, I think it's just called Legend.
U.S. mail list.
Something like that.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I would have never
I'll
known
have it there.
that. All I know is the Will Smith and the dog scene, in which I hated.
yes, Jordan, you can.
Well, hey, I've got to bounce out, fellas. But thanks for having me on.
Hey,
fun.
Levi, it's been great. Ease up on the bum cider comments, all right? Levi's cool.
If I hadn't cut off my reading for the year at like December 19th, I have a book that I finished yesterday that probably would have been like my book of the year or close to it. It was sent by a buddy of mine on BookTube, and Tana French, The Searcher, which I'd never read anything by her, and it's one of the best like crime novels I've ever read. It's
really
amazing. Oh, it's so good. It's like overwhelmingly good. It's written in third person present, which was weird. And it works so well because it adds like this sense of like immediacy to the entire story. And she writes in a way that I wish I could write third person, like the internal monologues. It only follows one POV, which is also interesting that she chose third person because I found out up until now she'd only written in first person. And it takes place in Western Ireland. And it's a former Chicago cop who just moved there to get away from his life. And then things start happening and he starts looking for this guy, this 19-year-old that's been missing. And it's basically, the premise is like a Western. It's a new guy in town in a place that doesn't want him digging into what's been going on. And it was amazing. I couldn't believe how good it was.
Now, did you say you're a writer?
A poor writer that never finishes anything, but yeah, a little bit.
Hey, that's me.
I wrote a 10,000 word prologue, and then one of my buddies was like, "Bro, that's not a prologue. That's a novella."
I was gonna say, yeah.
I'm gonna have to duck out soon because I'm technically at a party. There's real life people waiting for me.
We're real.
What? You guys aren't real. The internet's not real. It's the I
If we're not
subscribe to
real,
the.
then why do you feel comfortable enough to rant about Brandon Sanderson?
I believe in the dead internet theory. Okay. But I want to pitch a question. But really quickly, the first adaptation of I Am Legend is called like the Last Man on Earth or something like that. It's got Vincent Price.
Oh yeah.
And then the second one's Megan.
I may have to look that up.
But I wanted to know what your most like obscure recommendations are, and I might have to go back and watch the VOD to hear what they are. But mine would be, if you've never read it, there's a YA book called The Thief of Always, and it's written by Clive Barker. That's right, you heard correctly. Clive Barker, the famous horror movie director, guy who did Hellraiser, wrote a children's book, and it's incredible.
What?
It's
Do
called
demons come from hell to torture the children, or like
The Thief of Always. It is one of the best. It's just one of the greatest books ever written.
Really?
Yeah.
You make me think about The Brave Little Toaster. It's written by Thomas M. Tisch.
That movie scarred me as a kid.
It scarred all of us.
It's horrifying.
I mean, I thought, whenever I was a kid and saw that, I thought Winnie the Pooh was scarier. And I'm scared of Winnie the Pooh. And Barney. So
Barney, that makes sense. Barney's legit creepy.
Winnie the Pooh is from where I live, Winnipeg. That's why he's named Winnie.
Oh, that's cool.
A.A. Milne was here for a while.
Which he had a real bear, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a real bear. Like a crazy Canadian. You have a bear, don't you, Richard? Admit it.
Not a chance. I'm allergic.
I'm allergic to bears. I think we're all allergic to bears.
All right. I got to peace out, but I do want to hear your recommendations. But read The Thief of Always. It's about a house that eats kids.
Oh, okay, awesome.
This
Bye.
one, Polaris,
Bye.
it's a really good book. I only read it once.
I have a book that is so obscure that I was the only person that shelved it last year on Goodreads. It is The Life of Gian Ciervo. It's still available on Amazon. It's actually written by a guy on a Warhammer 40K podcast that I listen to. He has like a master's degree in English, and he teaches at like a college in LA, and he wrote, it's basically a bunch of stories. It's science fiction, and it's a bunch of stories following this liberated slave, escaped slave, and like this alien culture basically just keeps humans as slaves and genetically modifies them and stuff, and he got away. And it's like him figuring out his purpose in life is freeing other people who have been held in captivity by these people. And it's just different vignettes throughout like his life, and he takes all of the great stuff from older science fiction and just throws it in here. And he has such a good grasp on science fiction because he's just been a sci-fi nerd for 40 years, and he does such a good job of taking even like modern tropes and stuff and just melding it all together. It's really fascinating. It's very well written too. I can't believe no one's ever read it.
Sounds cool. I would say, and Alan, I've talked to you about this before, is Doomakey, or not Doomakey, I've been talking about that earlier. Drood.
A real obscure book by Stephen King, Doomakey.
Yeah, right. It is, as far as King goes. Nobody's heard of that one. Drood by Dan Simmons. And not just because technically Mexican made me read both of the Hyperion, the first two books. So he forced me to read like 1,200 words. And so I'm not just getting back at him, but Drood by Dan Simmons is my favorite Dan Simmons. And that's taking into account Hyperion and whatever the second one was. I can't remember what the second one was called. I read that
All
one.
Hyperion.
Yeah. And I've read The Terror and like The Terror a lot. Drood blows everything out of the water. It is that's like a 600 or 700 page book that I have read 3 times. It's phenomenal. Not enough people talk about Drood. Read Drood. It's incredible.
Hyperion was a really good book. Like, I love Hyperion and Fall of Hyperion. Now, my personal opinion, I hated the other two. Yeah. I hated the other two so bad. Like, it was enough for me to throw the third book. Like, this dude was like hitting on a 16-year-old girl. Like, calm down there, dude. It ain't the third world country. Hold up. She's 16. Calm down. Like, what is going on?
Levi Wallace, you're the man.
Now, I know Stephen King was really bad with that stuff.
My recommendation would be this one.
Let me get you full screen there, Matt.
Okay.
Billion Days of Earth.
Billion Days of Earth, or anything basically by Doris Pasurchia. Very, very strange writer. All her books kind of share certain very strange imagery in common. But anyway, this cover that you're seeing with these flying cat bees and the rat with like this all happens in the book.
Nice.
Wow.
So this is something I need to see Pulp Mortem talk about this thing.
I have that book. I have that exact book. I also have it was one of my favorite covers of hers. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe you know, Matt.
The spider one?
No, not the spider. It was with
Thinner, I think it was
with a maybe something rider. It was with a chick riding side saddle with a horse.
Star Rider.
Yeah, that's what it was. Have you read that one, Matt?
I haven't, but I think that's this one here. This is
that's it. That's it. Right. Let me get you full screen again. That's it. That one is freaking awesome. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's just these DAW covers are just absolutely,
they're the best.
But you would recommend that first one with the little?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much any of them that seems interesting to you. But But yeah, Billion Days of Earth is just like so full of bizarre stuff.
Oh, I'd love that. Okay, yeah, she's on my list to review. The problem is I have so. Here's the problem. If any of you guys ever make it down to Denton, Texas, the bookstore near me is absolutely. I have that one too. I have all the Spaceling. Yeah, the bookstore here is absolutely ridiculous because they bought all these old vintage pulp. They bought somebody had collected them. Storage units full of them, like storage trailers, completely jam packed, floor to ceiling with these books. And if they have duplicates of them, they will put them on the dollar rack. There is a dollar rack that is 7 foot tall and probably 30 feet long of just dollar pulp novels. I have all of them. And so every time I'll go for a walk, and Joseph, I'm sorry, I literally just went and cleaned it out again. I'm going to do a book haul in the next week or two.
Okay.
Joseph lives like a half hour from me. I'm sorry, they're gone.
I found these at I found these there for $5 each.
That's right.
My
You told
last
me about
visit.
those. Dang it.
Yes, dude, you got a copy of the fourth book?
Yeah, for $5.
Oh my gosh, dude, that thing is out of print. Like it, they sold it on Lulu originally, and I can't find a copy.
Yeah, these are both first printings.
Oh my gosh.
The thing is, if they have duplicates at recycled books in Denton, Texas, if they have duplicates of anything, it doesn't matter if it's a $20 paperback book. It will go on the dollar rack if they have a duplicate of it. And so I'm just like, I rarely pay more than $1. Now, this last haul I did, I spent quite a bit more, but usually I'll spend $10, $15 and get 10 or 15 books that are worth way more than that. And so, yeah, as a result, I think I have close to 900 like books of this vintage paperback, and that's about what I paid for them. Like, it's outrageous. So if anybody who wants to make a destination trip, yeah, you'll get the hookup for sure.
Yeah, sadly, I only have 2 bookstores near me, and they're an hour drive.
Oh, yeah,
same here.
The closest one is closing down because the guy's retiring, and that was like my favorite place to go. Favorite guy and everything. Sweet guy. I'm glad he's retiring. He deserves it. He's been going since the 80s, so.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you visit it the last couple days, though. You can get some amazing deals from places that are
right?
Down.
He actually reserved an entire box for me.
Nice.
And he said, call it 80 and it's yours. I'm like, deal.
That's awesome.
Because like the last store, all the books are going to go to that last store. That's an hour drive for me. And it's kind of sad because I really love that store. And I wish I lived where there was more bookstores, because where I live, it's like I can't continuously go because an hour drive is like too far sometimes. And if I lived where there was more books, I wouldn't have 2 shelves.
I have my office is super small. It's like a 5x7. That whole half, like, you can't even see I have a bookshelf full of like antique, like really nice books. You can't see them because there's just stacks of vintage paperbacks like on the floor. I hate it.
Yeah.
You love it.
I love it, but I hate it. I wish they were on a shelf, but I do love it. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice being insulated.
Yeah,
by books.
this DVD shelf here is great for these little pulpy sci-fi books. It's why my husband bought it. I have one designated for just the hardcovers. I could try to keep paperback and hardcover separated in order, because if it's not in order, it's like my brain goes all over the place. Like, no, this got to go here, that's got to go there.
So do you guys ever have panic attacks thinking like, what if there's a fire in my house?
Yes,
Is
all
that
the
just me?
time.
I haven't, but now that you mention it.
Yeah.
Like, I hear a house fire or someone breaking in or, something random just going. I live in an apartment now, so it's like, I hope there's no idiots.
Like, do I go to make sure my kids are safe first, or do I go
Yeah.
At the books.
go to the books?
Like,
We
my
all have a
main
problem
priority
here.
would be my books.
This is just a support group here.
My cats and my books is the main thing that I would grab.
Nope.
Going back to that question about an obscure book, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas M. Dish has been talked a lot about on BookTube recently, and so The Genocides is one that a number of people have read, but it's sort of a very bleak, apocalyptic type story. This one reminds me a little bit of Thomas M. Dish. D.G. Compton, Farewell, Earth's Bliss. It's set on Mars, and these colonists land on Mars, but there's a sandstorm, and the people who are already on Mars barely get them some supplies, but then they're in their spaceship for a number of days, not able to get to the colony itself. And it's a pretty bleak story, and it comes around full circle to the next group of colonists coming down, and there's some reveals that are shocking and amazing. Science fiction at its best when it's sort of a paradigm shift where you understand things very differently after the last page of the novel. So I would recommend that one.
Okay.
My recommendation was actually, because it's actually one of the books that Joseph just showed off. Let me get my copy. Hold on 1 second. So
I like that ape that you have in the background there. Like a
oh yeah, Edgar. Yeah, Edgar Rice Burroughs. Yeah.
Oh.
So Joseph just showed off 2 of these, but the Imaro series by Charles Saunders, rather. Fantastic sword and sorcery, and what's awesome about it is it's all based on like African history and mythology. So it's this really unique blend of African history with like Conan style sword and sorcery. And it's fantastic. It's fast paced. It's pulpy. Literally the only downside is that they're all out of print now. And Joseph, the fourth one that you just showed off, I cannot find that copy, or I can't find that book anywhere, because when he first came out with it, he sold it independently on Lulu.com, and I don't know if he wasn't able to like sell enough copies, but it had a very limited run, and so now like it's impossible to find it online. So you just have to hope you run into it at a bookstore.
Yeah, I mean, I only picked these up because of you, so.
Well, I'm glad I could provide that service.
Which one was it? Was it the Trail of Blood or
not the Nama War? The Nama War is the 4th one that's impossible to find. But yeah, book 3, The Trail of Bohu, is also ridiculously expensive. I think the only edition of that is the it might be the original DAW printing of the paperback, and I've seen like people selling it for like. Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's Trail of Bohu.
Oh, okay. I was okay. Well, the only editions that I've seen I've only seen the DAW editions, and they go for like $300 to $500 on the internet.
Yeah, this one was printed under his little publishing thing, Sword and Soul.
Yeah.
Media.
Yeah, they're so hard to find, but I want to get them because he was such a great writer. Yeah, they're super emotional. Like the main character goes through like these really like trying endeavors, but he becomes like I don't know. He becomes a very interesting character, at least by the end of the first one. It's it's good old fashioned sword and sorcery, except it's with this cool like African mythology flair. It's very nice.
That's cool. That's super unique.
I had a feeling they were rare when my book collecting friend was like, "Where did you find those?"
Yeah,
I've never seen them, and I'm like, "Bro, you have 14,000 books. Have you never seen this?"
How about you, Brett? What's something obscure you would recommend?
I was trying to find them. I don't read much sword and sorcery. I used to. Don't read much sword. Got to have spaceships for me. But Atlan series by Jane Gaskell. Hardly anybody ever talks about it, and I thought they were brilliant. It was written. Jane Gaskell was like 17 or 18 when she wrote these books. And,
what's the series called again?
The Atlan series starts with the dragon and some summer lands, and I have them. If somebody would ever organize my books, I could find them. I I thought they were very good. Well, I was reading a lot of fantasy at the time, and I thought they were very good. So I went and got all of them. And then, 30, 40 years later, I read Game of Thrones, and I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I've read that plot point. Oh, yeah. Oh, incest. Yeah, I've read that. Oh, Dragon.
No way.
I'm going, I've read this. It was, and then I didn't think of it as I was reading Game, but it's more farther I got into Game of Thrones, I'm thinking this is very familiar. So I'd like everybody to read the Jane Gaskell fantasies so they could tell me if I'm wrong.
So what do you think? Do you think it was just kind of like he took inspiration from, or is George R. Martin pulling some Stephen King here?
Because it's nothing unique, nothing groundbreaking, but it's just several of the beats. Game of Thrones is so big and has so much in it that you could say, well, that's from here. That's just there's a lot of parallels to Lord of the Rings, and he didn't copy Lord of the Rings. It's not the same. It's got some of the same feel, and I think the Jane Gaskell stories have some of the same feel.
Okay.
George also copied a lot from Michael Moorcock, which is weird because the two of them were really good friends.
Think he's going to finish that book soon? I hear he's going to finish his next book soon, right?
Yeah.
Well, winter is coming.
I just went through his town, Santa Fe.
Of course you did. You've been everywhere, Richard. Jeez.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of science fiction authors from New Mexico or have moved to New Mexico.
Like this
I think
guy?
it might be the cost of living. I'm not sure.
Roger Zelazny.
Yeah, they apparently George R. R. Martin and Roger Zelazny were seen in the restaurants talking together lots before Zelazny died in the mid '90s.
I drove through New Mexico coming down here from Washington to Texas a year and a half ago. It's stunningly beautiful.
Agreed.
It's beautiful. Nobody talks about that. Everybody's like New Mexico, blah blah blah. New Mexico is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
That's where they filmed Breaking Bad, man.
Yeah, that part's not beautiful.
Why?
How about Contact? I was at the VLA, the Very Large Array of Radio Telescopes. That's where they filmed it out there.
Probably cold winters, and if you're a writer, you can do your job anywhere. So
Yeah.
I plan on trying to write a book. Strangely enough, it came from a dream that I had, and I was like, I gotta write that down. It's mostly gonna just be a space thriller, kind of like a horror book, kind of. I don't know where to start, honestly.
For those
I
of
have
you
an
who,
idea. That's it.
sorry. For those of you who are writers, do you ever use word to text when you're writing down ideas and stuff? Or
I can't. I've tried using it before. I can't do it.
I have an interesting story about that. Actually, a book I could recommend that's also very rare. Kevin J. Anderson wrote a book it's called On Being a Dictator, and he dictates all of his books. And he does it when he's going on hikes, and that's how he is so prolific. And what he does is he pays someone to type out his stuff. But I found out that the newest version of Microsoft Word has an automated transcription service that is amazing. Like I was walking and I dictated my outline, and I thought it was connected to my headset, but it was just picking up my voice from my phone in my pocket, and it still managed to collect all the words from it and put them into a Word document for me.
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Dang.
I've been experimenting with it. I've mostly done it for like outlining, and I've done it for an outline for a video too. Basically just spoke my video and then edited it when I got home and then used that as my script.
do you find that the things you write are different than when you're sitting? Because I imagine like your mental sort of energy might be different when you're walking around versus when you're sitting.
Yeah, I get a lot more done when I'm walking. Like I took like a very short walk and it ended up being like 2,400 words. And then when I sit down, it's like getting blood from a stone.
I can't. I have to type it. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I haven't experimented with like dictating, but yeah, I have to type it down. I used to write. I was very prolific writing when I was younger. When I was in my like early 20s, actually before my car accident, I would write constantly. Then the car accident, then I was dealing with like chronic pain every day, so I completely stopped writing altogether for over a decade. And so getting back into it the last couple of years, yeah, I found that it's like it has to be writing for me. I don't know if that's just like muscle memory because that's how it was back 12 years ago or however long it was, but I'm not sure. But I'd like to try that, but I'm afraid I'd say too many ums.
Well, you edit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I touch type, so I had no problem with just making documents and things for my work. But I held off getting a cell phone until my brother had a medical emergency. And so I've only had a cell phone for less than 10 years. And as soon as I got that, I mean, touch typing doesn't help you on your phone. And so I became that one finger, index finger pecking guy. And I go, I'm going to start using the microphone feature here and just dictate to it. So I send some very funny texts because it doesn't necessarily translate what I say.
Nice.
I do have a question, Richard. When are we going to get part 2 of the egg video? Of the egg jokes, the egg puns.
For those of you who don't know, I have done cartoons in the past, and some of them have been pictures of eggs with cartooning over top of it, and they're all puns. And so there are some that I didn't put in there that are on my website, so you could find some if you really want to.
Awesome.
Hey,
Kind of
Richard,
like you could do Stanley as an egg and saying Excelsior.
Excelsior.
That's a good one.
That's what made me feel better about doing BookTube. Was that is my voice still coming through?
Yeah,
It's still coming through.
I think my camera's overheating. It's been on for a long
Oh
time.
no.
Yeah, I think that's what made me feel better about that video. Is like, okay, Richard's human too.
I'm not a vintage SF machine.
Right.
So I had a lot of fun cartooning, but YouTube, I don't know, you can reach a lot more people. There's a lot more conversations. And obviously I was getting back into SF. And so that's where I put my creative energies.
Nice.
Richard, I really like that collection of NESFA press behind you. I'm very jealous.
Oh, you know what? I have 2 book hauls coming this week, tomorrow and on Friday. And that's where I picked up a number of new ones.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And I've started to call them NESFA instead of NESFA, because I don't think NESFA really is a term that should be used with him. New England Science Fiction Association, for those who don't know, they're a small press who does collections of authors' works in terms of short fiction and omnibuses as well of some of their novels. So there's some really good stuff that they've put out in connection to their own cons that they have in Massachusetts.
I have one of those. Let me go grab it real quick.
Okay.
Hopefully my headset doesn't die.
Was it they who put out basically all of Paul Anderson's short fiction?
Yeah, and Roger Zelazny as well, like 6 volumes of Roger.
Yeah,
Zelazny.
yeah. I kind of want those, but at the same time, it's a lot of books. And
Yeah, I have 2 of those Zelazny ones, but what I have is Sung in Blood by Glenn Cook when he was the guest of honor in 1990. And this is number 239, and it is signed.
Nice. Very
awesome.
And that is the thing about it, because it's connected to cons. There are a lot of signatures out there on some of these. I think they have one on Harlan Ellison as well that a lot of people like to collect.
This one's not signed, but it is a collection of Walter John Williams from when he was the guest of honor. I picked up this one instead of the signed one because this was just a hardcover. He was a guest of honor in 1998.
I think they have a paperback of that one too that I saw in one of the bookstores I went through.
Yeah, they have a paperback. They had a paperback at Recycled Books, and it might still be there, and it's signed, but I didn't pick it up.
Oh no, that I'm sure Jake's got that.
He missed that. It's not in the pulp section.
Oh.
So
If it's not in the pulp section, there's a chance I missed it.
One of the ones I picked up, to me, is the best cover art of any of them. I just love
Oh, wow.
Bob Eggleton, and it's it's a time travel story about hunting Tyrannosaurus Rexes. So, any SFA looks like this. They have, I'm not sure, it has a rocket ship on the over here, the crescent moon, and then it has a fir tree, an evergreen representing Massachusetts.
Cool. Now, Joseph, I need to get into Glenn Cook, but the only Glenn Cook book I have is Sweet Silver Blues. Can I start with that series?
Yeah, I mean, you can. Passage at Arms, Matt, is my favorite of his, not only of his standalones, but of his science fiction. It's wonderful.
Okay.
But Sweet Silver Blues is the first Garrett P.I. novel. It is very good. I mean, it is him writing a noir detective in a traditional fantasy setting.
Right.
So, and it's got some humor, and it's just fun. I mean, it's not like his other stuff at all, but it does show his range, and it shows his very like terse like writing style. He's like very punchy prose, and it's in there. So
You know what I think of with Glenn Cook is that it's like he's running, like terse style and the plot and everything, and I'm just like pacing behind him trying to catch up, and I'm hoping that maybe by halfway through or towards the end I'll catch up to what he's doing.
That book, Sweet Silver Blues, like the ending to that book, I think about like weekly, and I read it 5 years ago, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Because I hear lots of good things about Black Company, and I want to read at least the first book, but I can't find any copies near me. So,
Oh, you know what? Well, I found one. Tor Essentials is printing it. There's paperback and hardcovers.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It has an intro by Steven Erickson as well.
I found my Nesta. I got.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Well, like I said earlier, Chandler is one of my favorite authors, so I had to order that, and it was pretty cool. It's I think it might have been at a convention where they were guests of honor, Chandler and Lee Hoffman, and they put this together.
Did he have his pipe in his mouth?
Probably.
Because he is never without his pipe.
Is that like a hardback Ace Double style?
Yeah, it is. It's hard. It's pretty cool.
So is the printing inside reversed as well, or is it the same direction?
Let me see. That's upside down.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, Bookworm, I could not read that.
I bet that Bookworms could.
Yeah. No, not signed. So I don't know if it was from the convention. I don't know where I got it. I don't remember. At the time, I was buying any Chandler thing I could find.
Yeah, he's legitimately good. He's a good writer.
Who
I haven't read him yet.
I read the Spartan Planet.
Yeah.
Which was which I didn't like it, but he's a good writer. Is one of those type of stories. It's kind of gross, but he's great. I think it was one of the not Rick Grimes, but
John
Grimes. Yeah, that's right.
Rick Grimes.
Rick Grimes is a different series that Peter.
Oh gosh. Got to bring up old wounds like that.
Oh.
Speaking of books that you've reviewed, Jake, I do need to get to Winds of Time by Chad Oliver sometime. Yeah, sometime next year I will read this book.
It's legitimately good. He's a local boy too, or to me, anyways. Yeah, Chad Oliver is good. He's fun. He's underrated, I think.
I'm starting to lose my voice again. Oh my gosh.
That book made me tear up a little bit, to be honest. It made me
Did it really?
It made me a little, and it happens sometimes. But yeah, it made me that one made me a little weepy. Like, oh my gosh, and it was kind of not for typical reasons. You know what I mean? It's not like the dog died. It was just good. It's just really good. Yeah, Winds of Time by Chad Oliver is really good. You guys should read it if you haven't. I think it was on my top 10.
Yes, I think so.
My most favorite, probably 2 years ago, was A. Van Vogt's The Weapon Shop of Fisher.
Need to read A. Van Vogt. I have a
Like-
ton of books.
Like, I love his. I love this book. I gave this book 5 stars. Like, I loved it through and through. And I also read Voyage of the Space Beagle. I don't know why he chose a beagle, but
Because of Darwin, Charles Darwin, who's the
Did you know that one of the stories in Voyage of the Space Beagle was plagiarized in the first Aliens movie? And that they actually settled out of court with A.E. Van Vogt for $100,000 for his story from the Space Beagle. I think it was the Red something or other. And he's actually a guy who comes from southern Manitoba and the Winnipeg area. And so when he wrote those stories, he was actually living here in Winnipeg. They moved over to Los Angeles, I think.
Yeah,
Actually, Toronto, then Los Angeles.
a lot of his books. I don't have all of them, but I have some of them. But
He
I
was
know he
prolific.
was a really bad with coining, basically his work. Like he'll take the same thing and just smash it together, kind of deal. Like when I read this, The Beast by Van Vogt, I was like, this sounds similar to The Changeling by him. And apparently it was like a short stories that he wrote of those, and he just put them all together or something. And when I was told that, I was like, I don't know if I want to read this because I read The Changeling. I was like, am I reading the same book, just a different name?
They call those fix-up novels when they take short stories and make them into a novel.
Yeah, that was the word I was trying to think of, but my brain was like, it's 10 o'clock at night. I'm not.
Yeah, they work sometimes. Sometimes they don't. They take some
Yeah.
work to get them to work, I think. Yeah. And not all the authors are willing to put in that work. Somebody was just talking. Joseph, was it you? Just was talking about the Weapon Shop of Isher, and it was like low on your list. It wasn't you. Who was it? Somebody just did a top.
Somebody had just had it up.
Yeah, somebody on BookTube just ranked ranked their books this year, and Weapon Shops of Isher was really low. Maybe it was Bookjack.
Well, there was somebody even just in our chat right here that was talking about it before this too.
The Weapon Shops of Isher?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
The only A. Van Vogt I've read was his novel or his short story in Thieves' World, which is like panned by pretty much everyone, but I thought it was all right.
The first Thieves' World?
I think it's the first one. It's either the first or the second.
There's a number of people who say that Philip K. Dick really got his writing style, or he loved A.E. Van Vogt, the way he would throw out wild ideas and make some big turns in his story.
Yeah, the ideas were interesting in the Van Vogt story, and because
I
he's
wanna
writing
read,
like sword and sorcery.
This series here, but I was told this is like book 2, I think. And strangely enough, whenever I was looking into this series and flipping through it, it was signed by the guy.
Very nice.
And I was like, how did I find this out in the wild?
That's
Like,
awesome.
I don't even know where I found it. And it's been on my shelf ever since.
I've never found a signed book.
I also have a signed hardcover too.
I found one.
Means the world to me.
I got The Ferryman from Joseph Cronin, signed, and I took it back after I read it. I took it to Recycle Books, and they gave me like $40 credit for it or something ridiculous like that.
I found this
I think I paid
signed-
15 for it.
I found this signed for $1 at my library.
So
Chronicles
as
of Amber Volume 1.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's signed and dated, which was crazy. Like this is
The
now that I've
Tiger
read
Spider
this.
cover.
It's like my most prized possession from 1982.
I found a C.J. Cherry book with an autograph in it, inscription and autograph in it. And well, I bought it because my favorite author, and I already have half of my books by her. I've already got them signed. But I had to buy it. Find it at a store for $1. You know, you got to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I found what I thought at first was a signed copy from Isaac Asimov, and then someone's like, "No, that's an autocopy." A what? Like someone, like apparently, publishers would take the author's signature and just copy it and then put it on paper. And when I was told that, I was like, so you're telling me I don't have a signed copy? I'm just gonna go
sign a
try.
sticker. Yeah, a lot of these like what is it, Broken Binding, and there's a bunch of those companies that have started up, and they just get the author to sign a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Bind that sheet into the book. It's like, oh, okay, he signed a piece of paper, but that's cool.
I like it better if you actually can go and see the author in the bookstore and get it signed.
Yeah.
I've had that happen once with Michael Connolly, and it was just a good experience. And so it's a great story to go along with the signature.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, honestly, I know I'm that time has passed, and can't go back and talk to these people. But I would love to speak with like Isaac Asimov or A. Van Vogt or Lester Del Rey or Robert Silverberg. All those.
Silverberg, you can. He's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I've talked to Silverberg.
You can't just stop there.
Oh,
I know.
Well, all right.
We got in a fight.
I go to a Worldcon whenever it's in the United States. Going to Seattle this August. But anyway, so I've been several. And Silverberg, me and my girlfriend were walking through the hotel to go to the convention center. Silverberg is walking the other way, and I knew who he was. I recognized him from seeing him before. He's emceed a lot of things. So I knew who he was. And he's walking. And so I was going to move out of his way. This is, Silverberg. I'm going to get out of his, he's got somewhere to go. He walked right up to me. He walks right up to me and says, he looked at my shirt. He says, I was wearing a Lord of the Rings shirt that said, "Kiss me, I'm Elvish." My girlfriend bought it. She had the same thing. So we both had these shirts like, "Kiss me, I'm Elvish." He walks right up to me and he looks and he goes, "Oh," he says, "I thought it said, 'Kiss me, I'm Jewish.'" And I said, "Oh, Robert." And so that completely threw me. And no, Elvis. He says, "Oh, yeah," and it's okay. And then, so yes, I've met Robert Silverberg.
Was he leaning in for a kiss, and then
my girlfriend offered, but no. But you got to go to conventions if you want to get signed books. Walter John Williams. I got a bunch of
I would like to talk with him because I read The World Inside, and I have a few questions about the book that I want to ask him personally because there were a few things I was confused about, and other things weren't. I guess my brain just wasn't putting two and two together. But I do plan on rereading it at some point. But I know it's overpopulation or something, if that's correct. I can't remember. It's been over a year since I read it, but I think it's overpopulation, and it was really interesting. Honestly, I mean, it kind of gave me the feels of "Make Room" by Harry Harrison.
Yeah.
But I fairly enjoyed it. I mean, I have quite a few of his books on the shelf, along with Robert A. Heinlein.
Overpopulation was quite a theme for a while there in the late 60s, early 70s. I mean, Brunner is an obvious one with Stand on Zanzibar and some of those books.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I've always had that love for dystopians or apocalypse books. Like every time I try to go out in the wild, I'm trying to find these pulpy vintage paperbacks of these end of the world books because they're so hard to find. This one, yes, it is in terrible condition, but I had to give $60 for this.
Ooh.
And
Sorry, I couldn't see the name. What was it?
Colin Roberts.
Nuclear Subtraction. Okay. Don't think I've ever seen it.
I read it and loved it. What I can remember of it is just a colony of like 5 people that survived, and they're trying to keep moving because the water keeps rising. So they're trying to find land where the water can't rise any further than that. And I when the guy said $60, like, are you sure? Because this thing's beat up. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure I've had this since high school. It's like, okay, don't have to say no more. He's selling me a book that was personal to him. So, like, I felt bad trying to, get him down on price. Because personal items mean a lot to people.
Yeah. So goals this year, guys. What's your reading goals or your YouTube goals this year? Then we'll probably wrap it up because I'm officially out of wine and should probably go spend some time with my family.
My goal this year is to bind a few books that are not available anymore. Sometimes you can find them. The text has been scanned and digitized, and or you can do that yourself. But yeah, I'm going to bind a few books. Like I'm going to bind a copy of Niftaline and some other stuff that's kind of rare, hard to find.
That'd be cool.
I'm going to make videos.
Yeah, there you go.
I just got started because this has been a blast. Just
it has been. Yes, this is the universe speaking, Brett and Bookworm. Start a BookTube channel. This is the universe speaking.
Because for next year, I do plan on hopefully trying for February and try to get my book written out because that's like a main goal for me is to get that book. I got the title. I just got to roll with it.
Mm-hmm. What are we talking about?
I don't plan on writing anything over 800 pages. No. You're only getting 300 to 400 pages. That's it.
No Neil Stevenson.
Yeah. Joseph, we're talking about goals or either reading or YouTube or whatever goals for this next coming year, and then we'll probably wrap it up because my family misses me. They don't miss me. I'm just kidding.
My dog needs me. Fireworks are going off, so she's just a nervous wreck.
I don't usually have a lot of goals, but I have been reading through, as many of you who know my channel, the Ace Science Fiction Specials, Series 1, Series 2, and I'm over halfway through Series 3. So I got another 4 or 5 books to go. So I'll read those this next year.
My goal is to finish some book series I've started because it's like I ranked them last year on my channel, and it's like 45 book series I should finish.
45.
Some of them are impossible, so those don't count. And it's really maybe about 20. Like, because one of the book series is the Warhammer Horus Heresy series, and that's 65 books if you include like the 10 that end the series. So I'm not reading all of those because about half of them are
flow
bad.
chart to read the whole thing.
I have that flow chart. Yeah.
Okay.
How about you, Tim?
I was gonna say I need to read more of the. I started doing a project this year where I was gonna read and review books from Dungeons and Dragons Appendix N. I got 2 of those out this year, but I need to read more. Like we pointed out earlier, I need to read Niftaline because it's apparently a very influential book on the role playing world. So I need to read that. I need to read some Jack Vance. I've been working on a Quorum Chronicles by Michael Moorcock review that still isn't out yet because I'm having trouble scripting it, but hopefully that'll be out soon. And yeah, just going to be reading a lot more older, pulpier stuff. But I also want to read some more indie stuff too. So
nice. Nice. Yeah. For myself, I want to finish my book this year. That's my goal. I've been working on it the last year. I'm going to finish the dang thing. I had finished it 11 years ago, and I've been rewriting it because 11 years ago, Jake sucked. And 2024, 2025, Jake doesn't suck as bad. So I'm going to finish my book. That's my goal. Get that published. And yeah, and I would love to actually find some more. Like last year I was surprised with my channel. Like I was able to find some books that were relatively unknown that were really, really good, like legitimately great books. And I was able to bring some attention, even if it's just I'm a small channel, and the attention I was able to bring to it was very little. But I mean, even just a few eyes brought to these old books and these old authors that are forgotten, like that's I think that's, to me, that's so meaningful and that's so impactful. And I'd love to be able to continue to do that. I've read 2 books that are going to be reviewed next year. Neither of them are groundbreaking, so just spoiler alert. No museum ranks thus far, but yeah, I'd love to find some more of that, but that obviously can't be helped. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
So are you going to ever talk about your book on your channel?
Eventually, I think once I get it finished. I think I've talked about it at some point. Maybe I haven't. Are you familiar with what's it called? Phoenix 2077, Richard?
No, I'm not.
It's not a book. It is a anime from the 80s. I rented it from the library when I was a child, and it was so like impactful for me. It's essentially it's dumb. It's like it's free to watch on YouTube, and it's actually really funny because it's these anime authors or anime filmmakers were heavily inspired by Fantasia. And so but essentially it's like a space opera where these people in space are trying to find a space phoenix mixed with Fantasia. Super trippy, absolutely hilarious. The campiest thing you could watch. Like if you watch it while you're a little bit inebriated, if you're into that sort of thing, you will literally have the best time of your life. It is so ridiculous, so unbelievably ridiculous. But like just that concept of finding a space phoenix was like so cool to me, and hunting for that in space or hunting for something throughout space was so inspiring to me. And so that's kind of my the idea behind it was this kind of ragtag band. It's a space opera, but kind of this ragtag band of misfits and criminals and whatnot hunting this gigantic space, essentially a phoenix, or this space entity of force. And I don't know, I'm probably too tired right now and too this here to explain it well, but like just that it's essentially a space opera, but it's really, really fun. I enjoyed writing it when I was 19 or however long ago I wrote the dang thing. But writing it again, I've kind of had honestly, I was after my car accident, and I think I've shared this in one of my videos, but after my car accident, I was in chronic pain, like really, really extreme chronic pain daily. And over the last 2 years, I've kind of worked on getting myself better, as far as not just mentally, but physically better. I've lost a ton of weight. If I was to show you a video of me 2 years ago, you'd be like, I'd look like two times me. But I couldn't write anything. And so my creativity, because of just depression and physical pain and all these different things, my creativity was shut off for over a decade. And so kind of emerging out of that, I've had this creative resurgence that's just been so, for myself, it's been just incredible. And I think that shows on the pages that I'm writing. So I really want to finish that. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but I really want to finish that. and I'll obviously make some videos of that when it gets closer to being released or whatnot. But that's, you know,
Well, it's obvious in your videos too, your creativity and your writing.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that. Or at least just being silly.
You got to write that stuff though. It's not all ad lib, I'm sure.
That's true. All right. Oh, whoa! We're about to shut down here. We got another Canadian. Oh my gosh!
It was a hell of a time getting here. Like I had to wait about 2 hours for a food delivery to come here for a bunch of people for dinner, and so I couldn't be on until right now.
Well, hey Keith.
Hello,
what do you got
nice to
coming
meet you
up
all
next
finally.
year?
Actual videos. I actually have 2 recorded that I have to edit, but I had bronchitis for last month, so I couldn't even do anything.
Wait, you have bronchitis for a month?
Yeah, my voice was just terrible, like really gravelly still. So that's what's happening here. But look forward to 2025. Much more videos from this channel. But it's great seeing you all finally.
No, glad you made it. I mean, better late than never, right?
Yeah, always a bridesmaid for me.
Oh, you'd be the bride. All right. Well, hey, I definitely appreciate all you guys. Keith, looking forward to more videos for
Thank
sure.
you.
We'll get you on Ebes one of these days for sure.
Oh yeah.
Brett and Bookworm, start your channel. Let's do it. I mean, I think if this what we've seen here, not just from us, but from the comments as well, they're like, let's go, let's do it. Start those channels, baby.
Yeah, definitely love listening to the stream like while you're talking, going like, oh, I need to get on here.
Yeah, all
Richard?
the videos look like everybody's having so much fun with the
Oh, definitely.
book hauls and reviews.
Books are fun. I hate it when people make books seem boring. Books are a blast.
They are fun. You
There's
get to
so
visit
much-
worlds that are interesting.
There's so much fun. They have weird titles like Bibblings. Like,
Room.
I'll just keep that up there. Like finding this title randomly in the bookstore, going, "What?
yeah.
Who is Barbara Paul? Like, what is Bibblings?"
I definitely am on the lookout for Bibblings now, and I don't even know anything about it. It's just called Bibblings.
I just have a bunch of random things here to just go through, like Moon Bane, werewolf, vampires, or whatever in space fighting NASA. Like, come on, it has to be good. It has to be good.
I'm sold.
Yeah, right. No
I
kidding.
have one that's about Nazis on the moon.
What's that one called?
Let's see.
I don't want to take too much time, but I'm curious now.
I have it on my shelf. It's just there's. I have it somewhere. There it is.
Moon.
Oh,
of
Moon of
Ice.
Ice.
I saw it. And I was like, "That's silly, read." It's basically if the Nazis won World War II, what it would be like.
Nice.
I heard
Heck
it's
yeah.
not good. It's everybody give it 2 stars or 1 star. Like, I gotta give it a try. I can't
I'm
just
glad
go
I'm
on.
not the only one who hears 1 or 2 stars and go, really?
Sign me up. Huh?
That could be fun.
Actually, that reminds me, there is one book that
This book here, I only bought it to read 1 story.
yeah, who goes there?
Oh yeah. Only like 2 stories are actually worth reading, but it's interesting.
I was going to say there was one book that I think would be up for Pulp Mortem. Is John Wyndham has a book that was coming out around the time, or he tried to sell it around the time that we had Day of the Triffids come out. He couldn't sell it because it was so bad. And so then in 2008 and 2010, they put it out there because it's John Wyndham. They want to have all the books out there. It's called Plan for Chaos.
Plan for Chaos. Writing it down right now.
It's if you've ever heard of The Boys from Brazil by Ira Levin about trying to Nazis in Brazil after World War II, this was with flying saucers as well.
I'm sold. I'm in.
Doesn't have Gregory Peck in it though.
No, they would never make a movie of this one.
Oh.
I can just see John from the Sci-Fi Scavenger. If I start my John Wyndham with that, he'll be, "What are you doing, you idiot?"
Well, someone's gotta.
Somebody's got to do it. It's a dirty job. I'll do it. All right, Richard. This doesn't count. We're getting you on Ebes for sure.
Plan for chaos.
Maybe on that one.
I will say, if you ever get to reading Garbage World, I'll definitely join for that one.
Heck yeah! I just bought Garbage World. It's in the stack here. I just bought it.
Good old Charles Platt.
All right, Matt. It's nice to meet you, brother. Joseph,
chat, guys.
Tim, love you guys.
It was nice talking to you.
See you again soon. I'm sorry again for what I just did. You'll see on my next book haul. You'll see what I did to recycled books, Joseph. I'm sorry. But
I'll forgive you.
For now.
Yeah, for now. All right, everybody. And everybody from the chat, Happy New Year. This was a lot of fun. I didn't get to any bagging. I didn't even get to half my book haul because there's so many of you here. And it's a good time. But hey, that's probably the best way to start the new year, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely. Had a blast.
This was fun. Take care,
Thanks a lot,
everybody.
Jake.
We'll see you next year.
See ya.
See you all next year.
Bye.